if we can go ahead and start getting into our seats, let's quiet down so we can start the meeting. All right. Very good. Let's go ahead and call this Pompano Beach City Commission meeting to order on March 25th, 2025. If I could ask everyone to please silence their cell phones or put them on vibrate during the meeting, that would be great so we don't get disrupted with a telephone call. So please put those phones on silent or vibrate. Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik?
Here.
Commissioner Perkins?
Here.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton?
Here.
Commissioner Smith? Vice Mayor Fournier?
Here.
Mayor Harton?
Here, thank you. Our invocation this evening will be given by Apostle John Mohorn with the Word of Living God Ministries, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If we can all please stand for the prayer and followed by the pledge. Good evening, Pastor.
Good evening to our mayor and to the entire board. Our God, our Father, we come again before thy presence to give thanks. And God, you say, whatsoever we ask, it shall be done. We ask this evening, God, that we will allow the spirit of your light to chase away the evil of darkness in our city. Allow your peace to come to chase away and push away confusion. And most of all, God, we pray for the unity in our city upon this great staff, this board. God, that you will fill them with your divine peace, your divine joy, and most of all, your divine wisdom to cause this city to come to the height to be better than it ever been before. And God, we don't just pray for one part, but we pray for the entire city of Pompano Beach, Florida. God, that you will call us to be like the upper room, one spirit, one accord, and with all things in common. From the lowest to the highest, God, look over us, smile upon us, God, because we understand that we can't do nothing without you, oh God. So God, let your peace reign upon our city. And Lord, we thank you for the better of our city. And God, as we move to higher heights and deeper depths, only in you, O God, and as we move according to your word, you say righteousness exalt a nation, but sin is a reproach. We speak against the violent, God. We speak against the evil one that come to separate us and depart us, God. But we will stand strong in your word and again be on one accord and be in one mind to be helpers to one another, O God. And I pray this meeting will turn out to be a blessing as they also come to honor the great basketball team of Blanche-Ely, God, who won the state champs. And God, we will always give you praise and glory. Look down upon our youth, oh God. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Can I get a motion approving the regular City Commission meeting minutes of February 25th, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. On our agenda this evening, we're adding one proclamation, which will be read first for the Women's History Month, be accepted by Beverly Kelly and others, I expect, but that'll be added first under the proclamations. Mr. Harrison, are there any other changes to our agenda?
No, sir.
Very good. Can I get a motion approving the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. On our consent agenda this evening, items 1 and 2 will be pulled for discussion individually. So those items will be pulled from our consent agenda for individual discussion. Very good. That takes us up to our proclamations. We're going to start with the Women's History Month proclamation. As I said, I believe Beverly Kelly is here to accept, but I think we're probably going to have a bunch of people accepting. So yeah, come on down. Anybody else who wants to join over on the side over here for Women's History Month?
I can remember.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Love the pink. All right, whereas Women's History Month is a time to recognize and celebrate the countless contributions women have made to our history, culture, and society. And whereas the 2025 theme for Women's History Month, Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations, calls upon us to celebrate the collective strength and influence of women in education, mentorship, and leadership. And whereas for over 50 years, the Kappa Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated chartered on December 14, 1974 in Pompano Beach under the leadership of Soror Mary Dean Alexander Kyle and others, has served as a pioneering and impactful force in our community, becoming the first chapter established under Soror Norma Solomon White, then South Atlantic Regional Director and future 25th Supreme Bacillus. And whereas the women of the Kappa Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated have consistently demonstrated excellence in service, leadership, and advocacy through their program initiatives. And whereas the Ivy Educational Charitable Foundation, the philanthropic arm of the chapter, hosts the annual T. Rose Debutante Cotillion, preparing young women for success, providing scholarships to students, including Blanche Ely High School. And whereas the women of the Kappa Kappa Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, in addition to women in our community, exemplify the strength, compassion, resilience, and leadership that have shaped and continue to shape our society. Now there, I, Rex Harden, Mayor of the City of Pompano Beach, on behalf of the entire City Commission, do proclaim the month of March 2025 as Women's History Month in the City of Pompano Beach and urge all citizens to celebrate the contributions of women, past, present, and future, especially those unwavering service and dedication uplift our communities every day, on this 25th day of March 2025. Thank you to all women, especially thank you to the Kappas, the ladies that are here tonight in their beautiful pink. Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you so much. I mean, let's face it, nothing happens in this world without women. That's the truth. So I believe, Mr. Perkett, do you want to say a few words?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Well, it's Women's History Month, and I did not want this month to go by without recognizing all of these distinguished ladies here for the work that they do in this community and outside of this community. They are a fine example of what we want our young women to look and be like when they grow up. So I thought it was very fitting to have these ladies acknowledged. And where's Beverly? Oh, Beverly. So Beverly is always calling me with different things that the sorority is doing, and I'm always willing to help. But I want you to know that these ladies, they work hard, very hard in the community, and I wanted to acknowledge them and say thank you for all that you do, and continue to do what you do, and whatever we can do as a city to help you fulfill your goals, we're here to help you. And I'm so happy that Ms. Swan is here. I think she's one of the oldest in the sorority. Ms. Swan is one of my mentors. She's a retired school teacher. Her husband was very active, Mr. Swan, in the community when he was living. But I want you all to know that I think these ladies gather their strength from this young lady here. And we want you to know that, Ms. Swan, we appreciate all that you do to encourage these ladies to continue. And we thank you all so much for coming, and be blessed, ladies. We're here for you. Thank you.
You don't want to. I know. I wish I had gotten the memo to wear pink. It's a great pink, too. So many. He got busted.
All right, now over here to me.
Official.
Thank you very much.
I feel special.
All right. Next up, we have the colorectal cancer, recognizing colorectal cancer. Whereas, yes, there we go. Whereas colorectal cancer is the leading cause of cancer death for men and second leading cause of cancer death for women under the age of 50. And whereas colorectal cancer is one of the few cancers that can be prevented with timely screening, but 1 in 3 eligible Americans are not up to date on screening. And whereas American Indian, Alaska Natives, and Black Americans are more likely to be diagnosed with colorectal cancer and more likely to die from the disease than other groups. And whereas colorectal cancer is expected to account for 12% of cancer deaths among Hispanic men and 9% of cancer deaths for Hispanic women. And whereas Americans in rural areas are more likely to be diagnosed with and die from colorectal cancer than Americans in urban areas. And whereas in 2024, there were approximately 152,810 new cases and 53,010 deaths from colorectal cancer. And whereas the national goal established by the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable is to strive to increase timely colorectal cancer screening rates to 80% in every community for all Americans eligible for screening. And whereas observing a colorectal cancer awareness month during the month of March would provide a special opportunity to increase awareness and offer education on the importance of early detection and screening of colorectal cancer. Now therefore I, Rex Harden, Mayor of the City of Pompano Beach, on behalf of the entire City Commission, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month and encourage all citizens of Pompano Beach to take part in activities which will raise awareness about the symptoms and diagnostic tools available for this disease, done this 25th day of March 2025. Just remember, folks, don't neglect your health. No matter who you are, take care of yourselves. There's only one of you, and you're all very special. So thank you for that. All right. Next up. All right, let's see. Here, yes, I believe we've got someone here from the Children's Services Council, don't we? Do we have, let's see, Nicholas Hessing? Yes, come on down. With the Children's Services Council of Broward County. Thank you for being here, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, this is proclamation about kids, basically. Whereas Florida's bright future depends on the healthy development and well-being of its children. And whereas adverse childhood experiences, including the abuse and neglect of children, can have severe and long-lasting consequences for children, families, and society as a whole. And whereas every child has the right to a safe, healthy, and happy childhood, where they are supported in achieving their educational and developmental milestones. Whereas research demonstrates that parents and caregivers who have strong support systems and access to resources are more resilient and better equipped to provide safe, nurturing environments for their children. And whereas it is essential for individuals, schools, community organizations, and local governments to prioritize children and act to support their physical, social, emotional, and educational development. And whereas the Children's Services Council of Broward County is committed to supporting families by funding family support programs designed to reduce the incidence and impact of child abuse, neglect, and trauma. These programs stabilize families in crisis, promote positive parenting strategies, prevent out-of-home placements, and reduce involvement in the dependency system. And whereas Broward Aware is a countywide campaign led by the Children's Services Council and its partners, aims to raise awareness of child abuse prevention by promoting healthy child development, positive parenting practices, and community engagement. And whereas Child Abuse Prevention Month provides an important opportunity to encourage all Floridians to participate in activities that strengthen families and communities, creating environments where children can thrive. Now therefore, I, Rex Harden, Mayor of the City of Pompano Beach, on behalf of the entire City Commission, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Pompano Beach, Florida, and encourage all residents to join in efforts to support the well-being of children and family. Done this 25th day of March, 2024. Rex Harden, Mayor. Sir, would you care to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you to Mayor Harden, to the Commission for proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Every child deserves to grow up and achieve their full potential, but that's not possible unless they're raised in safe and nurturing communities. This is my third year accepting proclamations for Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's municipalities across the county. But this is a particularly exciting year for Pompano Beach. This year, we're bringing in a Promised Neighborhood grant in the Blanche Ely High School area to begin our community hub for family strengthening. Along with that, we're beginning our asset-based community development, I believe in your district, Commissioner Perkins in the Collier Park area. Giving out micro grants to communities, showing that there's resources and talent in communities that historically have been disinvested in. And so this is an opportunity to bring those talents forward through the work of the Children's Services Council. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk more about the work that we're doing in your city. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that. All right. Next, we've got a special opportunity. We saved, not the best, but yeah, I think we've got the best for last year. We've got the rare opportunity to present a proclamation to the Blanche Ely High basketball team. Come on up. Come on up. Proclamation, and we're going to follow it up as all right, we're gonna read a proclamation here, and then we got some stuff to be handed out here. Whereas the Blanche Ely High School boys basketball team has demonstrated extraordinary skill, determination, and teamwork throughout the 2024-2025 basketball season, culminating in their triumph as the 2025 Florida High School Athletic Association Class 5A state champions. And whereas, on March 7th, 2025, the Blanche Ely Tigers secured the Class 5A state title with a hard-fought 44-38 victory over 44-38 victory over Ponte Verde High School. Thus making the program's 9th state championship. And coincidentally, that's the most of any high school basketball program in Broward County, and its first state title since 2019. And whereas this outstanding championship season is a testament to the exemplary leadership of Principal Tavares Williams, who has fostered a culture of academic excellence and athletic excellence at Blanche Ely High School, providing unwavering support to the students and coaches. All right. And whereas, under the guidance of head coach J.R. McNabb, yes. Now get this, in his first year as head coach, the team exemplified perseverance and unity, with Coach McNabb skillfully guiding the Tigers to the state championship in his debut season. And whereas each member of the Blanche Ely High School boys basketball team has shown remarkable dedication, hard work, and sportsmanship, representing their school and the city of Pompano Beach with pride and bringing honor to the community through their accomplishments. And whereas the success of the Blanche Ely Tigers has brought great pride and positive recognition to the city of Pompano Beach, inspiring future generations of student athletes to strive for excellence. Now, therefore, I, Rex Harden, Mayor of the City of Pompano Beach, on behalf of the entire City Commission, do hereby congratulate and commend the Blanche Ely High School Tigers boys basketball team on their 2025 FHSAA Class 5A State Championship victory. And we urge all residents to join in recognizing and celebrating the outstanding achievements of these student athletes. And the contributions of head coach J.R. McNabb and Principal Tavares Williams, whose leadership and dedication have brought honor to our community. Done this 25th day of March 2025. Congratulations, gentlemen. You have earned it. Yes.
Tigers, Tigers.
Principal, here to say a few words.
Good evening. I just want to thank you, Mayor Harden, to the entire city commission. Thank you for all of your support of our students and our coaching staff. To the entire community, thank you for all of your support of our students and our coaching staff. I didn't do anything. I really want to give a big shout out to Coach McNabb and his staff. Give him a big round of applause. He said something that at the beginning of the season when he became the coach, and he said that he really focuses on those students in the locker room. And as you can see, the state championship is just a manifestation of what this coaching staff put their focus on, not just developing them as student athletes, but also as young men. I challenge you to speak to them this evening, and they will impress you surely with their GPAs and the programs that they're involved in our school. So they're more than just athletes. These are really some of the best scholars on our campus. Let's give them a big round of applause. But also Coach Kelvin McNabb, Coach Derek Martin, Coach Jonas, and Coach Givens, who's recording right here. These gentlemen put in a countless amount of hours every single day, every single night. I mean, sometimes, Coach Kelvin McNabb, Coach Kelvin McNabb. They put a lot of time in the gym, and sometimes I have to wonder, like, okay, Coach, like, slow it down a little bit, but it certainly paid off. But I just want to say big kudos to them. We couldn't be more proud, and trust me, these are certainly coaches and students that you can be proud of. Thank you.
Calling up the guys for the trophies. You have Robert Donald. Jalen Jonas. Demario Monpass. Caleb Corbett. Haven Hannah. Jordan Corbett. Dylan Hannah. Davari Williams. Tyrese Lucas. J5 Justin Snell. Anthony Emmanuel. Last but certainly not least, my nephew, Jaden McNabb. You have trophies for the coaches.
All right. So the first award goes to Coach Derek Martin, assistant coach. Our next award goes to Coach Brandon Jonas, assistant coach. Coach Kelvin McNabb. Coach Givens, I want to just give a shout out to Coach Givens. Come get a picture, Coach Givens. Coach Givens, I think the kids call him cameraman. Yes, they do. Yeah, but this is what I just want you to get a picture. Just get a picture. Are you on the camera? All right, Coach, I need that back. Yeah. And the man who really made all this possible, motivation, inspiration, Coach J.R. McNabb, our head basketball coach.
All right, let's all line up right in front here and get a group picture. How's that?
Real quick, I just want to say to the team again, congratulations. We wanted to give you a token of love with what you have in your hand, but we know that you all want something on your fingers, right? So we are working on your championship rings, and so we know that's the heart of it. So we want to say again to all of the players, congratulations, and I know there was a lot of hard work involved, and thank you to the coaches for encouraging them, and God bless you, and congratulations again.
I'm good. I think well, I'm telling these guys, and then the coaches stand, and then it's like literally no point.
Cameraman, tell me when to move.
You're not helping me out. Okay, I'm joking. You're way more important. Don't you worry.
I got it up there.
Just step still.
Real quick, while they're leaving, I wanted to make sure everybody know that on Saturday, April 5th at 10 a.m., we will be having a parade for this championship team. So we want everybody to join us on April 5th, which is Saturday at 10 a.m. for the parade for this team. So let's come out and let's celebrate them on April 5th. Thank you.
Great job. Go Tigers. Yeah.
That was good. Seven seniors?
Not careful.
It happens. It happens.
We're almost due.
All right. Well, that was a great way to start the meeting, right, Commissioner Smith? Yes. Okay. I know. Start off on a good note. That's the way it should be. All right. That takes us up to audience to be heard. Do we have anyone signed up for audience to be heard tonight?
We do, Mayor. We have 12 speakers.
Okay. Let's get going. See how far we can get.
First speaker, Catherine Payne, followed by Jocelyn Jackson, followed by Michael Seversky.
Just name and address for the record. Limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Catherine Payne, 775 Northwest 16th Place. I'm here in reference to dog attacks. My dog, I've been attacked several times because people in my neighborhood, Canal Point, are walking their dogs off leash. So the first time, he had so many punctures, we had to shave him so that we can find where he was bleeding. The next time was 3 weeks ago. He was attacked by the same dog, and it dislocated his hip. Because there's a sign that says what they can and can't do. They have to have them on leash. They need to pick up, but they're not doing that, and nobody's enforcing that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Does my dog have to die before somebody recognizes that people are not being good dog owners, you know? So I'm really upset about that. Even when he was attacked, I fell and hurt myself. So it's just enough. So I was wondering, maybe a solution to motivate some people, maybe put garbage cans out there, put the poles with the dog bags, maybe have a more visible park ranger. It's little things that could be done because they poop in your yard, even though you say pick up behind your dog. It's just a lot, and I don't really know. So I'm here to ask for your help.
Well, I sympathize with your problems there. But now, the dog attack, did that take place out in a park, or was it just in the streets?
It took place out on the street where I walk past.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right in my neighborhood, yes.
You need to call the police immediately on something.
I did. I have 2 reports in with animal control. I have reports in with BSO. But they said that by law, there's really nothing they can do unless they see it. But I'm telling you, my dog is hurt. What else do you have to see? So I don't know where else to go. I did my part. I called animal control. I called BSO. They took a report, and that's it. Okay. And like several days later, I seen that dog off leash again. He wears a muzzle. They fined him. They said he has to wear a muzzle, has to have a leash on, but they don't always have the leash on, but they have the muzzle on. He had a muzzle on when he broke his hip 3 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
So,
well, still, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, my dog's 25 pounds. That dog's 125 pounds.
Yes.
So there's some big dogs walking around off leash.
Mr. Harrison, should she just get with BSO or directly to our animal control? What's your recommendation here?
Probably both, but best place to start would be with Rob McCon back here, ma'am.
Rob McCon?
There with his hand up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and sorry about what you're going through there, but no, it's a problem throughout the city. It really is. Commissioner Perkins.
Yeah, I'm curious to know as well, what do we have in place for something like this, and how does BSO handle the situation? But also, maybe we can put some dog bags or something in place for that area, so that this doesn't happen again. And she said something about a pole.
There's signs there that says it's a $500 fine for
Okay.
But there are poles, like in a dog park, they have poles where they have bags.
Okay, okay.
Maybe that'll help motivate them if they see the garbage cans, and I doubt it, but I'm tired of stepping in pools.
Okay, so Mark, is that something we can look into to see if we can get that in place? Okay, all right, thank you.
Very good. Next speaker?
Jocelyn Jackson. I would like to say thank you to Kevin McNabb and also his brother JR. I'm just excited about the whole thing, especially with Kelvin and also with Pete McGinnis, the whole fire department that participated to help with these young men. What some of you on the dais don't understand, I talked to Commissioner Fezzik the other day about it, the importance of our children in that community. The Northwest community is poverty-stricken, and we need people like ourselves to pour back in these kids, to give them the skill set. You know, once they graduate from school, whatever, if they decide to take a trade, they can take a trade. They decide to go to college, they can go to college. But you need the fundamental skills to get there. And it's people like the department I just mentioned, the fire department, they played a big role in this task, and especially Kelvin, to work and then go out there and put his time and pour back in those kids. That's representation of me. So I would like that to not go unnoticed for the hard work that we do in this community for these children. And we was at the EPAT Larkin Center, and one of the speakers spoke about it. With this project coming through, some of those children that's graduating or doing dual enrollment, it's a possibility that they can get a skill out there. You know, drywall, electrician, air conditioning. These are some of these things, because our community is hurting. The community is hurting. In order for us to get rid of that gun violence, those drugs, we have to pour back into the babies. So when they do become up of age, they can take that gift and move forward to something positive. Okay, and that's what I got to say. So whenever you're ready, Commissioner Fezzik, I'll give you a tour like I did the city manager, so you can really see the struggle and the fight, why we so much need that place clean up with clean, nice development and opportunity. Okay?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker?
Michael Seversky, followed by David Miller, followed by Pat Anderson.
Michael Skaversky, 1630 Southwest 5th Avenue, Pompano Beach. Well, Ms. Fessick, I'd really like to apologize that your husband researches and is a cancer scientist and helps try to save people's lives, no matter if they're white, black, blue, green, or orange. So we'd like to congratulate him. He's a great person, and you are also most of the time. So disregard what you just heard. It was just a bunch of monotony. Baloney. The other comment, because I can't make a comment once I sit down, I just can't believe the lack of common sense on this McNabb Bridge. Why you do not leave one side open instead of just, what they're going to do is cut the bridge, and then we're going to have to use Atlantic Boulevard or Cypress Creek Road, which I can tell you right now is going to cause hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of complaints to certain commissioners nonstop, including a mayor. Okay? It makes absolutely no sense. I heard what the guy said, oh, it's going to just take a little bit longer. Well, they should figure out how to do it quicker. Have they seen what goes on in Philadelphia when they had to replace a bridge? They move like that, okay? If they learn to move quick, they'll get it done quick. But I can guarantee it'll take them months and months and months to do it, and they should leave one side open. And I know for a fact that there will be people that do die because the fire emergency will have to drive around on Cypress Creek Road to get over to Imperial Point. I know for a fact because we had a person that their life was saved on the beach, and I mainly give the nurse all the credit, even though we all got credit. And I met a lady that worked in the hospital about 6 months later, and she said that man's death, if it wasn't for about 15 or 20 seconds, he would have died. So I can guarantee you, we will have somebody or some people that will pass away because they did not get to the hospital quick enough. Like I said, we really should leave one side open because traffic is going to be murder. And what we have is this disaster over here that people voted for, and we're all going to get thrown out on Atlantic Boulevard, which none of us want to do, and we try to avoid it like the plague.
Very good. Next speaker.
David Miller, followed by Pat Anderson, followed by Jackie Moreland.
Good evening, David Miller, 2621 Northwest 13th Street. I'm here to speak on more incredible athletes come from the city of Pompano Beach, and as well as invite you all to a number of events that's going to be happening in April. So first thing, I'm on the Public Arts Committee, and we have an amazing mural on the McNair Park. So we're going to do honoring of those people on that mural on April 1st, 11 to 12. That's going to be dedication to sports legends by Stephen Teller, was the artist that did that. Yeah, that's going to be a Tuesday on April 1st. I also have an event at the community garden, an Earth Day event, where you could come and meditate, get some light refreshments, do a little artwork, whole lot of things to keep you from being cranky. So that's going to be on the 22nd. That's a Tuesday, from 10 to 2 at the community garden, Patricia Davis, on April 22nd. Then I have a 3-day event at the Sample McDougal. This is for just in recognition of autism awareness. This is going to be for our special needs population. We do artwork with them. It's called Spectrum Expressions. It's a 3-day event, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 23rd, the 24th, and I suggest you all come out on the 25th, that Friday. That's going to be from 10 to 12. I think that's it. Let me think of something to complain about. I hate speed bumps on 27th Avenue. But yeah, please come to those events. We appreciate the Diocese for always supporting us, things I do as far as agriculture, art, all those things. Thank you for your time.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next speaker. I believe it was Pat Anderson.
It's Pat Anderson.
I think she's coming. Miss Anderson? Yeah. Time is ticking.
Hi, I'm Pat Russell Anderson with a new name. I'll tell you that later. I live at 2650 Northeast 24th Street in Pompano Beach near the Pink Church on Sailfish Canal. I'm limited to 3 minutes, and I can do this in 2 minutes. When Michael Peasy on Channel 10 showed us the same pattern of code harassment killing my small business being killed by code harassment. From Joe Carollo to Ball and Chain, Calle Ocho, Little Havana. That was going on at the same time that Michael Peasy had a conflict of interest on Channel 10 on May 2nd, 2022 trial. It is important that the public tonight all go to YouTube and look at Pompano Beach City Commission meeting, 6 p.m. Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, tonight. all you want to know from my new Pat Anderson Apple AI, 16 pages of Michael Peasy update. He's attorney for Pompano Beach City Manager Greg Harrison versus Miguel Nunez, whistleblower, May 2nd, 2022, is a mistrial. It is important that I am here preparing for Brenda Foreman court date, April 25th, 2025, regarding my house address, 2650 Northeast 24th Street on Sailfish Waterway, Pompano Beach, 33064-7701. We 50 residents deserve a new federal trial and jury due to Peasy withholding the fact of attorney Chris Ema of McLean and Ema changing Broward County property appraiser public government governance, public records changing old house to a new address, hiding the smash by Qualman. There's no notice about it. And for Pompano Beach City Manager to say he knows nothing about what I'm talking about, Mark Berman, I have a whole notebook here just for you about Lovell, who did permit number 187917, which was voided. It was voided. And you knew about all this smash and everything else going on since the get-go in 2017. You're not fooling anybody. And this other package is for Doge.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Thank you, everybody.
Very good.
Jackie Moreland, followed by Vicente Thrower, followed by Wayne Vereen. Jackie Moreland.
Leave this all with you.
Good evening. Jackie Moreland, 1526 Northwest 7th Lane, Pompano. I want to first say thank you to Mario. Is he here? Mario has been working on some things in Canal Point, and he has been on point, and I thank him for his quick response to all of my texts, emails. He rocks. He's really good, and I thank him for just some things that needed to be taken care of, and he did that, and I thank you for that. Also want to say thank you and congratulations to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, our sisters in the Divine Nine. I'm a Delta. They're an AKA, but I want to congratulate them as well, and the Blanchie High School football team. On to business. I'm sorry, basketball. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, basketball. I'm sorry. My first plea is, again, if we could truly consider having these commission meetings that are at 1 o'clock, at 6 o'clock in the evening. You saw the outpouring of who was here tonight, and it was because people are being honored. But just think if that was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, people work and they couldn't be here. And even some of the people that I talked to that work for the city that would like to come to the meetings can't come at the 1 o'clock time. So I think it would be befitting and more convenient if our meetings went back to both meetings at 6 o'clock in the evening. It definitely will be, more beneficial and more convenient for some of us as citizens. The other thing I would like to ask if we could please consider, I brought this up before about speed bumps in Canal Point. Coming around the curve, and I live in the front part of Canal Point, and my neighbor's here, and she was saying the same thing when I said I was going to mention it. It's like a highway speedway, and if we could just have something to kind of slow down the flow of traffic, it will be definitely helpful. So those speed bumps to be considered in Canal Point. And again, the Braggs Criswell Station, I'm here for it, and I'm here to do and say whatever I can to help with that. And thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Next speaker.
Mayor, Commission, Vicente Thrower, Pompano Beach. Mayor, I think, have you been getting the phone calls about them trucks again, right there where Hopewell is? All those trucks that continue to pile up. I want to give, Mayor, it is very dangerous and for those trucks to be piling up consistently. Now, when we call Mario and the chief, well, the city manager and others, they do send people out there, but it's a consistency. Even at nighttime, they're piling up. I thank God that my grandmother don't even drive no more, because if, Lord forbid, that one of them trucks would hit her, that place or that warehouse, to put a guard gate at the front and all those trucks to be there, there is a real future hazard that somebody's gonna get hurt coming down that pathway. So, Mayor, if you tonight can direct staff, we need to figure out if we're gonna either find that place or do something, but somebody's gonna get hurt. And when one of our family members get hurt, ain't gonna be no, I apologize, our condolences. It's gonna be a real problem for all of us. So if you all could, to the mayor and the city manager, we need to finally solve that problem instead of just waiting for them to solve it. You remember when the tunnel thing had popped open and all that sewage spilled? We put all those barricades. Why can't we just barricade that whole block instead of continuing to just let them trucks park in the middle of the road and on the side?
Well, Mr. Thoreau, that the trucks should not be parked there. We need to get enforcement out there on a consistent basis to make sure that doesn't happen, period.
Appreciate it, but Mayor, we need to do something, because once again, during school times, they just lining up, and they're there all night.
Okay. And is this just west of the I-95 overpass, or where?
Where that at? Who know that at?
Just east.
Yeah, 15. 15.
Well, I know 15th Street, but just west of 95, just west of I-95. I'm just trying to specify that. Okay, just west on 15th Street. I think I know the area you're talking about. I'm just wanting to make sure that BSO is getting the message loud and clear over there.
But they there all the time, Mayor. Not sometime, all the time.
Well, once we get out there with some tickets and towing, it's amazing how quickly things start changing. Because in that area, we can do that. We can ticket and tow.
And maybe we need to go and find that business that's continuing to just let them pile there and cause us these problems.
You know, that's.
Mayor, hey, Kirby, you're moving the clock too fast, man. So listen, Mayor, my other thing is, I want to talk about asking you all to reconsider this evaluation of this survey for our law enforcement office. This is Pompano Beach. The people deserve to get a survey about the conditions of whether or not we should have our own police department. We deserve to know whether or not the dollar amounts make sense, whether or not we're happy with services. This body does not lose any sleep by giving the taxpayers the right to understand whether or not services are being handled in a manner that we are satisfied with.
Very good.
And lastly, Mayor,
thank you, sir.
I'm still want to bring up, we want another minority seat on this city council, and I would like to see that brought up tonight by somebody to bring it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thoreau. Next speaker.
Mayor, before the next
Commissioner
speaker.
Perkins.
The trucks that we have on Northwest 15th Street, of course, I've been complaining about that for the last 3 or 4 years. And because of that, we have increased the tickets for those truck drivers. And it seems as though nothing is working. I have called BSO several times about the trucks on 15th. And 3, 4 years later, same problem. So I'm not sure where do we go from here as far as the trucks, but we're not getting any movement or any assurance from BSO regarding those trucks.
Yeah.
So I don't know where do we go from here, but I've been complaining for the last 3, 4 years. And increasing the tickets, of course, that hasn't helped either. So I'm not sure, Mr. City Manager, what we need to do from here to make sure that those trucks are moved.
Well, BSO is, it's under their authority to go out there and give tickets and if need be to tow those vehicles. It's against the law for them to be parked there. So I don't know, I'm hopeful that BSO, maybe Major would like to get up and just give us an idea of what he has planned for that area after hearing these concerns, which have been addressed, as you said, for years. Major?
Good evening, Mayor. So I am aware of that location. I have spoke to the commissioner about it previously. We're out there pretty regularly. I can prepare a report on how many citations we've written for it and present that to the commission.
Okay. And also, since we have you standing there, what is it we can do in the community for more police visibility? Because the reason that everybody's asking for speed humps is because there are no police cars. So people feel like they can just race up and down the road, and everybody wants the speed humps. And that's because there's no police visibility. So what can we do so that we could see you more in the community? Do we not have enough cars or officers, or what is the issue?
Well, Commissioner, we do push visibility with our deputies to be in the community. I will tell you, our deputies are pretty busy. They're going from call to call. And I think I showed you once on a map, if a deputy's on a call in one area, it means in that zone, he could be on that call, he or she could be on that call 30, 40 minutes, and people aren't seeing that deputy. If it's a call where they need backup, then now deputies are coming from another zone, and two zones are not having visibility. So it's a dilemma that we understand occurs. We do have some conversations about increasing personnel to try to alleviate that, but
that's what I was going to ask.
For another day, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Very good. Next speaker.
Mayor?
Oh, Vice Mayor?
Thank you. So I didn't hear any resolution or real plan on the truck parking. I heard people say we have an ongoing problem that we've known about and that we're going to engage with BSO, and BSO is saying we're doing what we can and we'll get you a report. But it seems like there's still a disconnect there. If BSO is doing everything they can and we still have an issue, then what else can we do? Is there something structurally that can go there as a barricade to prevent it? Can we work with businesses to install that? What else can we do to help resolve the problem so that doesn't utilize BSO resources that are, they're doing the best they can, but it's clearly not effective. So what can we do?
Well, the BSO resources would be effective. They need to be more consistent. They need to be out there more often. They need to have more of a focus on that particular area. That's my estimation. Major, would you have something different to say?
No, sir. We will step up efforts in that area, but I want to evaluate it and see how many citations we've written, vehicles we've towed, and also evaluate the area. I'll come back with a report. I'll present it to the city manager for discussion.
Okay, because that sounds expensive to me too, and we're dealing with the same thing on Blount Road at the homeless shelter, right? So we go out there with all these resources and we make a big push to resolve it, and it gets better. But over time, it gets worse again, and then I reach out to the major and say, hey, we need help, we need more support. But if there are structural things we can do to help prevent these things, then I think it's our job to try and figure that out also. So maybe you have to think outside of the box a little or get creative, like we are on Blount, talking about fencing and some other options. But I'm just curious if there's anything else that can actually be done. I mean, on Blount Road is literally lined with signs. You couldn't even park a truck there, right?
Vice Mayor, part of my evaluation is I'm going to make recommendations on some things we can do.
Okay.
Other than writing citations.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Very good. Commissioner Perkins? I've got Commissioner Fessick.
Also, Chief, can you come back at the next meeting and give us the results of whatever you've come up to resolve the issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, thank you.
Commissioner Fessick?
Thanks. So I just wanted to say, I know that it's an issue. I would have to agree with Vice Mayor Fournier that it's almost unfair. And you sat with me when I was onboarding, and you explained to me about how much we've grown as a city, and how much resources are already strained, and how much your officers do give, of themselves, even just all the time, and step up to the plate. And I understand that when we're actually asking you to do additional things like write tickets for trucks being parked in the wrong place, it sort of takes away from the resources that where you can be preventing crime or being seen in the community. So I'd like to see, I would have to agree in terms of, aside from making it just your responsibility, I would like to put the responsibility or the onus on us as a city as well. And we've talked about code compliance. We've talked about potential, finding the business. I think that Mr. Thrower had mentioned that. And so maybe maybe I'm just looking at an opportunity of what we can do, Mr. Manager, as Mr. Harrison, as a stopgap to not put the onus on BSO to what can we do. I know that code compliance is also limited in staff resources, so it seems like everywhere we turn with our city growing at the size that it is and at the speed it's growing, that we keep turning around at every corner and finding that we need more resources wherever we turn. So do you think it's possible that we can allocate some, either, I know Mario has been awesome about going out, getting his team out to pretty much any issue that we have with code compliance, but is it possible that we could do something there as well, where we can find that business, if it's associated with that business, where we can put something in place?
Right now, the only thing that we have to back us up from a legal perspective is more enforcement. So what we can do right now is concentrate more, just like what the major just said. We will try that, and in the meantime, he will evaluate it and make other recommendations.
Thank you. Mr. Berman, I know that you have poured over all of our ordinances and all of the resolutions. Is there anything that you would suggest as legal counsel to us as a commission and as a city that potentially would allow us to have more of an effort, or more of an ability to control this or self-police this as a city?
We'll take a look at it. Code compliance, however, unfortunately cites violations on private property. They don't have authority, nor do they take action in the public roadways for the most part. In terms of traffic enforcement, that's a law enforcement function. Sorry, Chief. But we'll take a look at it. I did, however, amend the ordinance. I think it was in 2022. And I think Commissioner Perkins remembers that, for removal of tractor trailers and the ability to tow them out of residentially zoned areas. Is this in a residentially zoned area as well? That's where we were having the problems at the time. So we'll take a look. If I can get more information as to the location, we might be able to bump it up. There were some specialty special hazards for being in residential. So we did just that. And you may remember at the request of Commissioner Perkins. So we'll take a look, see if we can do anything else. If there's anything that BSO wants to discuss or has any suggestions, we're happy to work with them as to if we need to do anything or can with our code. I'm happy to do it. Let me know.
Absolutely. We're going to look at the area and try to come up with some structural, logistic recommendations.
Great, thank you. And like I said, this is one sort of example, but I know that we've had issues with parking or with other, with something that was within our power as a city or as city council. I'd love to work together and find out what that may be. And obviously, our trouble spots probably best, and as well as our city staff as well would know those trouble spots. So I'd like to find a way that we can work together to create a resolution or create something that, not necessarily a formal resolution, but create something that we can do together as a city to work in partnership with you to make your job easier, to make our job easier, and make residents' lives easier. Thanks.
I bet this guy forgot what he's going to say now.
Sorry about that.
Very good. You'll be our last speaker for audience to be heard at the front of the meeting. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, first of all, I would like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life. I'd like to give honor to this commission, everyone in their respectable places, Mayor, Vice Mayor Allison, and also Darlene Smith, my commissioner in District 5.
Your name?
What I want to speak on.
Your name?
Wayne Vereen, address 2420 Northwest 7th Street, Pompano Beach, Florida. What I want to say, first of all, I'm going to give honor to the BSO. I want to thank you all for all the hard work that you all been doing. Darlene Smith is my commissioner over there in District 5. And I just want to say I can see the difference on the streets that you all been doing, cleaning the streets up, getting the people moved out the way, those homeless people. I just want to say I thank you all for all the work that you do, because sometimes we don't see, some things go unnoticed. As an officer, I'm not no police, but I was led to thank you all for all the hard work that you're doing, because when I go on the street, I can see the difference on the street that things are getting done. And I just want to say thank you. And I want to say to the mayor and the commissioner, we have, this was an exciting week for me. I was able to move around to hear about the different things that's coming to Pompano. My mom lived in District 4. And I just want to say to this commission, as we begin to change, I'm for change in this community, but I'm reminded that, Pat Larkins, he served in this community for 25 years. He served as mayor, he served as vice mayor, and his name is on that building. We have a project that's coming up. We have a commissioner that's in District 4. I'm asking everyone on this commission, listen to the people, because I went to the meeting over there at Patty Larkins Center concerning this project that's coming, and we wasn't able to speak like we want to. And I'm asking you all, as we get ready to embark on change in this community, I'm asking us to be able to respect respect District 4, respect the commissioner, respect the people, and listen to what we have to say, because we won't change, but we won't change for the better for our community. And let us all come together and let's work together and let's make this project be what it ought to be, but let it be something that is needed in District 4. We got homelessness, we need affordable housing, and we certainly don't want nothing to happen to Patty Larkin Center. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, that takes us up to our consent agenda. Item number 1 is a resolution.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a license agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and TEPM, Inc. for the use of the north exterior wall of the building located at 135 Northeast First Avenue for the painting of a mural pursuant to the Commission Artist Program, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. This item was pulled by Vice Mayor Fournier. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. So I've been thinking about this mural and some of the other ones that we are contemplating, and I'm wondering, and my question is probably more for Mark Berman in terms of the legal contract, what assurances do we have that the owners of these properties don't hang certain signage next to it or on the side of the building that doesn't reflect the views of the city? Do they still have a right to freedom of speech everywhere else on the side of a building?
I didn't hear the last part of your question because you moved away from the microphone. What?
Is an owner of a building that we are partnering with to put public art on able to use the side of that building still to put up signage about, I don't know, something political perhaps, or something that they feel right next to public art? Is there something in the contract that prevents them from doing that?
Well, again, the contract requires that they keep it there for a specific period of time and not cover it up, not desecrate it, maintain it. They have responsibilities. I don't believe there's anything in there that says they can't put a campaign sign temporarily and exercise their First Amendment rights over that. But we can certainly look at that or add that in there.
Right. I have concerns about that at this point, given what I've seen go on some of these walls. And I know we're contemplating doing a giant mural on Atlantic Boulevard, and I don't know what they could put next to it. Hopefully nothing that we wouldn't disagree with, but if they could perhaps hang a banner right next to our artwork that would imply the city supports a certain cause or person or something that is not something we would actually agree with. So I would like us to take a look at this agreement and add some language to that before we go forward with this and these other agreements. So I'd like to make a motion to table this.
Been moved and second to table this, to postpone it until?
How long do you need, Mark?
Next meeting.
Okay. Till April?
April 8th?
Actually, I'm going to be out of town all next week, so I might need
Next
meetings.
one's fine. Is there any urgency to this?
Ty Tabing, Cultural Affairs Director. Actually, there is a bit of a sense of urgency. The artist is in the region for the next couple of months, and we're trying to get the project completed within the time frame that she's here. So we could probably postpone until the next commission meeting.
I'll have my staff work on it in my absence, or I'll do it I'll be out of state on a family matter. I'm going to send you that memo.
Thank you. I don't think it should be difficult, but for me, I think it's important that if we're going to invest all this money on some of these large buildings on Atlantic Boulevard or in Old Town, that we have some protections also about what else could go up next to it.
I can get some additional language in there very quickly.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. Been moved and seconded to postpone till April 8th meeting. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Commissioner Perkins.
I heard you say the artist is in the region. Is that what you said?
Yes, she's working in the area and completed another project and had reached out to Laura Atria, our public art manager, and Laura had a phone call with her, and we decided we wanted to do one of her wings. That's kind of her signature piece. The singer Taylor Swift posed in front of one of these murals that she did, and it went viral, and consequently this artist now has 150,000 followers on social media. So I think we'll get a big boost through social media and through publicity through this, and it's also a pretty wonderful mural for that site.
Okay, but in the process of that, are we looking at local talent that we have here that's qualified to do this work?
Yeah, we always issue a competitive call that's open to local artists in addition to most of the calls are national calls, to be honest. In this case, it was a little unusual because she had reached out to us, and as a result of that, the PAC is limited in how much funding it can provide. The project is $15,000, and the PAC can only provide $5,000. So the Department of Cultural Affairs is making up that difference, contributing $10,000 for the complete budget.
Okay, but I would love if we can look into local artists so that maybe we can just kind of inform them what it takes to be qualified for such a project and look more within rather than outside.
Yeah, again, I mean, we're committed to competitively bidding these and trying to find the best artists for the opportunity. This was a very unusual. We reached out to the building owner and had this license agreement before you today to allow permission to place this on the building for a period of 10 years.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Fessick.
Thank you. So I know that we are tabling this, but I would like to address this with Mr. Berman as well and with you, Mr. Tabing. I am very familiar with the artist's work, as I remember when her Taylor Swift wings were unveiled, and subsequently in Nashville there are a set of wings and baby wings that are a huge tourist attraction and part of a mural tour that the city sort of does, because they have also sort of invested in public works and public art, and there are now tours around the city that focus on that alone. Because it is such a huge social media push for taking pictures with these wings, et cetera, I would like to also make sure that we as a city put parameters in place, that we have some protections so the city, it became a problem in Nashville when people were lining up to take these pictures. Tourists were coming to town and they were lining up to take these pictures, and of course then they were blocking traffic to entrances to parking garages, things like that. So I just want to make you aware that when you have an artist of this size and of this, you know, notoriety and this sort of social media following, I would just want to make sure that we also, when you come back, since we're tabling this, that we sort of have an idea or a plan in place for the potential of pedestrian traffic. Maybe we may be able to reroute that, just because I'm fully aware of her artwork and what it brings. So thank you for that.
Very good. Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yes. Can you just clarify for me, Ty, this is just going to be like one section? I was a little bit concerned when I didn't quite understand the concept. So it's not going to be in a mural on the entire wall of the building. We're in the backyard.
Correct. This is the north-facing wall of Kelly's Chemicals. So it's a pedestrian area. There shouldn't be any impact on traffic or vehicular flow. But this would be at the western end of the large wall.
Sure. So in just the wings, and it's right there at street level. People will stand in front of it, just like the brass wings in Chicago, where you go up and have your picture taken. So obviously there's an attraction there. Do we just need to enter in an agreement with the owner that they're just giving us a portion of their wall? I mean, we're not there, you know, it's not the whole wall. You understand my point, Mr.
Yes.
Berman? Okay. So it's just going to be on one western edge. And that's really all I need to know. Thank you.
Very good. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Yes.
Mayor Harton.
Yes. Item 2 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach appointing Stephen Hjelmeyer to the Pompano Beach Economic Development Council of the City of Pompano Beach as appointee of Commissioner Darlene Smith for a term of 3 years, said term to expire on March 26, 2028, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. This item was pulled by Commissioner Fessick. Commissioner?
Yes. So normally we would not be pulling any of these appointee consent agenda items, but in light of what happened and the conversation that I had last commission meeting, I want to bring it to the attention of the public again that we have all, as commissioners and the mayor, we all have appointees that we were able to name to different advisory boards, committees, or councils. And one of these is the Economic Development Council, which is an economic driver in the city. They're very, very involved in driving what happens in the city of Pompano Beach. And it is a very important board, just as important as planning and zoning, just as important as zoning board of appeals, just as important as a lot of the major boards that make big decisions about what happens here in the city. If you have been at any of the downtown or McNabb meetings, and you'll have known or have seen the chairperson of our Economic Development Council board, who's Mr. Tommy DeGiorgio. And we did reach out in an effort to ensure that I did have an appointee. Mr. Alfred reached out on March 12th when it became known or became understood that the way that the bylaws are set.
Commissioner, I'm sorry to interrupt. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a conversation, please take it out in the lobby so we don't get disturbed during the meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
so it is a very important council, and it is something that is a partnership with the city through the Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Council and the city. They work together in tandem to really attract businesses and partnerships within the city and growth of the city on a long-term basis. So if you were able to go to any of the downtown meetings, like I said before, you've seen Mr. DeGiorgio as part of this. And we did reach out on March 12th, and Mr. Alfred did, to see if we could change the bylaws in the EDC, which would allow me to have an appointee, because right now, the way the bylaws are written, it's every 3 years, that the term is 3 years, so it does not align with a city commission term. Now, generally, I understand that that's done so they're apolitical. However, we have a sort of a unique situation because Commissioner Smith was a previous member, or she was previously sat on the board, on that committee or council. And so when she was able to vacate the seat after she was elected, she was automatically able to replace her seat with not just her appointee, but as vacating her seat, was able to name a replacement. Currently, I am the only city commissioner or the only representative of the city of Pompano Beach that does not have a voice on the council, and I am the only one who doesn't have an appointee that, even though I have named an appointee, that is not able to sit on the council. We received an email today from Mr. DeGiorgio that the meeting last night, they were not going to change the bylaws or attempt to. And, just given the importance of the council and the impact of all the major projects we have pending in the community, I would like to find out, I don't want to say it like I'm not trying to get, that's not fair, but it does not seem appropriate that we all have earned our seats here and we all represent our community, and for such an important council that I still do not have, and I'm not able to have my appointee and my voice and my ear to the ground on what is happening and what is pending to happen on that council. I feel that is very important. Mr. Berman, maybe you can tell me, what is the contractual agreement with the EDC right now?
I'm not aware that we have a contractual agreement with the EDC. We make an appointments, but that's it. They're a separate 501c6 corporation. We don't regulate how they run it. I understand, and I reviewed that email as well. They listed their reasons, and it's up to them to decide to make that change. The city can't force that change on them.
Okay, but we do have a partnership with them.
We work with them, and we appoint members.
Okay.
From time to time, but that's it. We don't run them. We don't make their decisions. They're an independent corporation that acts independently of the city.
Yes, I would like to look into this more, and I would like to invite Mr. DeGiorgio to have a conversation with me specifically about this, or I would invite perhaps maybe the previous appointee of my former District 1 representative and former District 1 commissioner to potentially step down to allow graciously my appointee to step into place. But of course, we can't force anybody to do what we would like, but I just would like to point out that if District 1 residents are upset about this, the fact that their voice is not able to be heard, then I would invite them to email me and let me know. Thank you.
Very good. Further discussion? Vice Mayor? Sure.
I guess as a follow-up, what city staff does participate on this board? There is some city contribution of at least time and effort and energy on this board, correct? On EDC. I don't want to say it's not fair. I would agree that that's not the approach here, but in every other board, when we are seated and earn our right to represent our districts, we get to pick our nominees. And I think this is an outlier. I understand it's not a city board, but I was very frustrated when I saw that email today as well. And I mean, maybe we all pull our nominees from the board. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm happy to support that if we think we need to somehow exert some varying amount of leverage to explain to them that we think that we should get representation on it.
Very good. Commissioner Perkins.
I agree with both commissioners. I would feel some kind of way as well if I was a commissioner and wasn't able to appoint someone on a board. And I think it's something we need to consider if the Economic Development Board wants to continue to work with the city and with the elected officials. I'm not quite sure. Did he give a reason why he would not make the change? What was the reason?
The reason was, the stated reason was to try and keep politics out of the Economic Development Council. That's why they have all of the appointees are for 3 years as opposed to 2 years or 4 years. That way, in case there is a change at the political level in the city, the person who's serving is not swept out because of an election.
I don't understand how you're going to keep politics out of it. Everything about it is politics. They're pretty much running the city. I mean, if you really want to lay it out. So I'd like to know from the city attorney perspective, what can we do if we are in partnership with them to resolve this issue?
Well, their position also said it allows them to focus on their long-term economic development, and it's the politicized structure is their cornerstone of their effectiveness and independence, and they want to preserve that, and that's their determination to make. If there's anything we can do, I mean, I saw this maybe 10 minutes before I came down to the meeting, so I'm happy to look at it and see if I can bring back any suggestions. I'm not overly optimistic in that this situation can be changed unless they want to change their own structure. So
I think
take a look, but at this point, instantly, I have no suggestions.
I think, wasn't it Tom DeGiorgio? I didn't see that sent the email. It's Tom DeGiorgio. And Tom DeGiorgio is the same person that introduced and stand up before the city and talk about the new downtown MLK.
Well, Commissioner, Mr. DeGiorgio asked for the motion from the board to make the change that you requested, and the board itself did not make the motion. He attempted to facilitate this change. He was active in discussing it with them, but he, just like a single commissioner here, can't force this city commission to do what it wants sometimes. He can't force the board to make the change. He, in good faith, went forward and tried to do what he could. And he explained that, I think, and that I read. Yeah, he did. There was no motion. He asked for a motion. None was made. So, you know, to his credit, he did everything that he could. We'll take a look and see if there's anything and put some thought into it rather than give you a quick answer.
Oh, yeah,
see if there are
I think you
any
need to.
options to try and move this.
Right. Yeah, I do think you need to put some thought into it, especially from a legal perspective, to see what we can do. Like like the Vice Mayor said, we need to withdraw all of our appointees to that board. Let's do it.
Well, I think they're appointed to the board, and they have a right to serve on the board once they're appointed, absent malfeasance or other. But I'll take a look. I don't think there's anything that allows the commission to withdraw or pull members off of the board.
Well, just take a look at it and see what possibly can be done.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor?
Vice Mayor.
So given that we're going to look into this, I think that we should probably table this nomination also until we decide what we're going to do with the board. So I'd like to make a motion to table this nomination.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to table this nomination. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harton.
Yes. No, no, check that. No on that motion.
So used to saying yes.
So,
So used to saying yes.
Vice Mayor, you still have the floor.
That's it for now. Thank you.
I have one last thing.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Okay, so I'm going to, since I did receive the email at literally 4:23 this afternoon, and I did show up early to the downtown meeting yesterday. I knew the EDC was meeting. I got there after the meeting had started. I was specifically there outside of the glass doors. They knew I was there. They saw that I was there. They chose to do whatever they chose to do or chose not to do. That is, of course, their right. I would like to revisit this, but I would like to also make sure that I mention that this is an ongoing issue. I was able to attend the downtown meeting last night, but I was in Tallahassee for Broward Days the week prior, so I was not able to make it to the Emily Olson meeting, which was in my district. And I did hear from residents of mine that there was, again, lots of former commissioners and former vice mayor was in attendance, and there was some chattering about why I was not there, et cetera. I wanted to make sure that it was clear that I was out of town during Broward Days, and this is the type of behavior that continues to happen, and it fosters a sense of hostility. It does create that hostile environment that has been continuous since the day after Election Day. It has been continuous towards me, and I am quite honestly fed up with it because I'd like to get on with getting this job done, and I'd like to stop with the personal ridiculousness. So this feels very personal, and this feels very much targeted, and I am looking forward to finding out a little bit more about what can be done, because I am not happy about the way that things are running. The motor in the city is broken. It screams of a whole lot of very questionable activities, and I do not like this at all. So I want to make sure that I say that on the record. I am very disappointed in this, and I think we should do better as a city. Thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? I'd just like to say, I understand your issue, but this is a separate organization which serves a function and has served a function for many, many years. And as I got the email right before the meeting also, and the example was shown that this has happened previously also. But to try and hold up another appointment to this committee by another commissioner, I don't think that would be appropriate. I understand your issue. That's fine. But as far, and also I just want to say for the record, I was at every single meeting for the downtown, and I didn't hear any chatter about anybody who wasn't there at all. But that's just me. But like I said, on this particular issue, I don't think it would be fair to Commissioner Smith to try and hold up her appointment to this committee. But that's just my feelings. Very good. Further commission discussion? Oh, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. And since we're off topic, I guess I'll stay there for a second. I, too, was extremely disappointed to have those downtown meetings that are so important for our city scheduled at a time when the city knew we would likely be traveling to Broward Days, that is part of our responsibility. If there's a meeting in my district on the downtown, I want to be asked in advance if there's a chance that if I can be there. And when there's something scheduled that is also part of our job or our obligation to do, and they scheduled it, all of them on top of it, something is clearly broken.
Well, I just have to say for the record that the downtown meetings were scheduled long before Broward Days was even a thought in most people's minds, and emails were sent out to all commissioners alerting them about the dates for the downtown meetings. And so if certain commissioners decided not to attend the downtown meetings, that's well within their rights for whatever reason. But city staff notified all of the commissioners well in advance. Thank you.
Thank you. I have one more.
Commissioner Fessick.
Yes, it is true that there was an email that went out that notified us. However, like Vice Mayor Fournier just spoke about, it was not yet, we are getting email and we are told rather than asked. And as the CRA board and as city commissioners who are in charge of running the city, a little bit more respect to be shown to all of us and our schedules, and the fact that we do everything in our power to make and manipulate our lives around what we feel to be important to the district that we serve or the residents that we serve, and make sure that we can make it to those meetings. A little bit more respect would be shown. And Mr. Harrison, I would really like to see that get stepped up and changed, because I have asked for marketing, I've asked for information marketing reports, I've asked for information to be a calendar of events, I've asked for lots of information, and as a new city commissioner, I didn't know about Broward Days, to be honest. I didn't even know what Broward Days was. In fact, I thought Broward Days was gonna happen in Broward County. I was not aware that it was a Tallahassee event. So, that's on me, I understand that, but to not have the communication that is so important ahead of time, it's just basic business and daily respect for colleagues, and that is where, we serve a little bit off topic, but it is so important that I drive that point home, because it has been failing over and over and over and over again, and I am just sort of at my wit's end, because it's making us look like we're not communicating, because we're not. And that is a problem for me. We need to communicate better. So, Mr. Harrison, can we please, this is you're the director of the CRA, you're the director of the city as city manager, can you please do me a favor and let's get some communication happening so that we can be asked in advance. We can get this communication rolling. We have work to do in the city.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor.
Commissioner Perkins.
I think I've said on several occasions that we do need a citywide calendar so that we are not trying to attend the same meetings at the same time. I've always been aware that the Broward Days were always in March. And I think that's always been, since I can remember. So if we had a citywide calendar, we can put things on the calendar right now for next year that's already in place for 2026, because we know it's going to happen at a certain time next year. So I would still like to suggest again, Mr. City Manager, that we start or put together some type of community calendar so that we'll know. So now that we know the Broward Days are in March of next year, and I'm pretty sure they have a scheduled date planned for next year in March, we can put that on the calendar and start from there. Thank you.
Very good. Further
Mayor,
commission discussion? Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton.
I just want to make sure everyone is totally aware and in the interest of transparency. I've been to Broward Days some years, and other years I haven't. It is not a required function. It's an event where the elected officials from Broward are invited to join up. There's an expense to it, so it is not a required event. Just want to say that for the record. Thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion?
Mayor,
Commissioner Smith.
I just would like to ask that we go forward with my nomination for economic development. If we find that something changes later, then my appointee will be in for 3 years, and if it changes to 2 going forward, it does. I served for 3 years, so I would have rolled off this year. So it happens that I did serve on it, and now I'm filling that vacancy, but I would have been rolling off if I wasn't sitting here as a commissioner, and I just feel we need to fill that seat.
Very good. Further discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
No.
That's a no?
That's a no.
Okay. Commissioner Perkins.
No.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
No.
Mayor Harton.
Yes. Very good. That takes us up to our regular agenda. Item number 3 is quasi-judicial and proceeding. Mr. Berman will discuss the procedures.
Anyone wishing to testify on item number 3, excuse me, must be sworn in and may be subject to cross-examination by the City Commission or by interested parties. Individuals who address the Commission should state their name and whether they have been sworn. City staff will make its presentation first, followed by the applicant or anyone else wishing to testify. Following the applicant's concluding remarks, the hearing will conclude, and the commission at that time will make its consideration. All those who wish to testify on item number 3, please stand at this time, raise your right hand, and the city clerk will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence or testimony that you're going to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Of course.
Thank you.
Very good. Item 3 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving the Florida Indoor Racket Club plat lying on the south side of Atlantic Boulevard across from Northwest 33rd Avenue, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good evening, Ms. Dolan.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, Jean Dolan, Development Services. This is the proposed plat for the 5-acre property located on the south side of Atlantic Boulevard across from Northwest 33rd Avenue. The property has a land use and zoning designation of commercial recreation. The plat restricts the property to 6 tennis courts, 2 of which are outdoors and 4 are within a 27,000 square foot building. A conceptual site plan was provided with this plat application, and a formal site plan is currently under review by the Development Review Committee. The Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval of this plat with 2 conditions, both of which have been met. Staff and the applicant are available to answer any questions you may have.
Very good. Thank you for that. Does the applicant wish to make any presentation or just questions? Questions only. Very good. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public? Please give your name and address and indicate if you've been sworn.
Mike Skaversky, 1630 Southwest 5th Avenue. You said the magic word, proposed. Is this going to truly happen, or it's proposed?
The county adopts plats, not the city. We just transfer them onto the city once it meets the criteria.
It meets the criteria. So will what the developer wants to get done here, is he going to do this, or he is going to be doing something else in the future?
This is a plat that has a note restriction. If they do something other than this, they'll change the note on the plat.
So he can have, what we're talking about is he can get something changed, so then he can resell this plat if he would like to, because he's getting a zoning change.
This is not a zoning change, it's a plat.
Okay, well,
And he can build anything else he wants. If he doesn't want to build this, he just has to change the note on the plat. A plat is nothing but a way to describe
Yeah,
property. It
I'm
doesn't
sorry, I was-
create entitlements.
okay. How many courts are you going to put there? In this area? I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it.
And sir, just indicate, you have been sworn? Okay, just for the record, so you have been sworn. For the record.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Excuse the interruption, I'm sorry. I thought
Go
you
ahead,
were
Mr. Berman.
finished. May I ask the presenter a question for the record to make sure? And it may have been said and I didn't hear it, but have all legal requirements been met for plat approval by the applicant?
Yes, they have.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Further input from the public? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Questions, concerns? Vice Mayor.
I just have a quick question based on what you said about the timing. Did I hear you say that it's been through planning and zoning, the plat, but the project itself is still in DRC for a final site plan? So then at some point, a site plan will also go to planning and zoning for their review and approval?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Further commission discussion. Commissioner Fessick.
So I just have a question about the plat itself. This property here, if I remember correctly, this as a commercial recreation land use, the plat, are we just separating this from a larger property, for clarification, or from a larger section of a property?
A plat defines the boundaries of a specific site. So this is the property they own, so they're describing this piece of property.
Okay. And it has not been platted before? It's just been, they just owned a large amount of land?
This is the original plat, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes, that ends our quasi-judicial proceedings. Item number 4 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a piggyback agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and Top Line Recreation, Inc. to purchase trash receptacles, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good evening, Mr. Ketchum.
Good evening, Russell Ketchum, Director of Environmental Services. What you have before you is a piggyback agreement to purchase waste receptacles. A little beauty that's on the table or on the monitor right now. The reason why we're doing this is a long-term kind of goal. The containers that you see, the stone containers, those were actually purchased in the 90s. Some of them actually have a recycling decal, and that's because they were purchased with monies coming down from the state. So this is an attempt to modernize and bring these new containers forward. We actually tested out these about 10 years ago, purchased 3 of them, put them on the beach, see if they would hold up. We tried some others as well. They did not. This particular brand did. And so over the past 10 years, we've been purchasing more and more, and we find it at a time to go ahead and get into a contract with this particular vendor to start replacing these containers citywide.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Questions, concerns? Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I have to admit, I had total sticker shock when I saw this. So $500,000 of garbage cans. How many garbage cans do we have in the city, and how many do we need to replace, Mr. Ketchum?
Fair question. We have over 600 containers, almost 700 containers. They run about $1,000 a pop. Now, for what it's worth, we don't have the ability to replace all of them. This is over 2-3 years. But the contract, again, being able to enter into this contract helps us lock in those prices.
Okay, so if I look in the budget, where am I going to see this over time?
So right now you have $225,000 allocated for this. I believe it's in special supplies.
Under your line item, so in your...
Under my line item.
Okay, so if in special supplies, the $225,000 there is what you budgeted this year to spend on new garbage cans, and this is the procurement agreement, the way we are going to procure these garbage cans over the next several years.
That's correct.
Okay, so the $500,000 is the full amount of the contract, not this year.
That is also correct. Okay. And quite frankly, I don't think I'm even going to hit 225. I'm going to be completely honest. It takes a lot of time to replace these containers.
Okay, and are there garbage cans that are as effective that cost $500?
They don't last. So, like I said, we were doing a test market at 10 years. Yes, there are some that run in the $500-600 range. They don't last, so when you start extrapolating them out, you're replacing them every, X amount of years as opposed to the long term. So in the long range, this is a better
Okay. Option. It sounds like Canal Point is in need of some of those pretty soon. Thank you.
Further commission discussion. Commissioner Perkins.
Yes, you said these are replacements, is that correct?
Correct. We're swapping out the concrete ones.
Okay. Well, yes, well, I'd like to speak to you later about some new locations for them.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I was looking in the back up here, and I see Top Line Recreation Incorporated, Deltona, Florida, and it says Sonia Perkins, President, and Terry Perkins, Vice President. No relation to me. I don't know who they are. But anyway, I just want to say that. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Fasick.
It's one small piece. So I wanted to tell you that as somebody who lives near the beach and finding a metal receptacle that will hold up over years or metal anything to hold up over the years is a challenge. So I know that, and with that comes additional cost. So so I'm happy that you don't need to just buy all of them at once, that we can replace them. What is the life, I mean, you said the previous life cycle of the trash cans or receptacles we had last time was in the 90s. So how long are we anticipating that we'll be able to use these more, does it take 10 years?
Yes, exactly. It's right now the containers that we put out 10 years ago are actually still there and usable.
Okay.
Not beauty queens, but they're still there. Again, to go to an aluminum, which was an option and considered, it's way cost prohibitive.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion. Vice Mayor.
Sorry. While we're talking about this, it's actually an important topic. And I know when I came into office, one of the first things I did was say, can we get a garbage can here? Can we get a garbage can here? Can we get a garbage can here? And we put a bunch along Flagler Avenue. And we went back and forth just philosophically, are garbage cans, do they make people litter more, or do they actually prevent litter? And there's different philosophies on this. I happen to believe that the presence of a garbage can, if I can see it, I'm more likely to probably take whatever I have and walk over to it. Now, some people say that that's not the case, and that they see a garbage can in the distance, they still might litter, someone else will pick it up. But I think we still have people littering back on Flagler Avenue, but it has been overwhelmingly positive, the response I've gotten from people back there. So if there are little pockets of our neighborhoods where we know we experience like litter and trash and there's no garbage can, I give it a try. I asked Russ, can we put some here, here, and here, and they were so happy to accommodate that. So if there are areas that make sense, it obviously has to be something that's going to work on city property and something where they can manage actually picking it up. But it has been helpful in parts of my district. Thank you.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Forney.
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 5 is a second reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a public transportation grant agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and the State of Florida Department of Transportation, accepting a grant in the amount of $195,000 for assistance in funding the operation of a community transit circular service and confirming the city's matching contribution in an amount of $195,000, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good evening, Mr. Lance.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Jeff Lance, Parking Manager. Second reading of this item, and there have been no changes since the first reading.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 6 is the first reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a piggyback agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and Evoqua Water Technologies, LLC, for odor control and corrosion services, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good afternoon, or evening, Mr. Brown.
Evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Randy Brown, Utilities Director. This is the first reading of an ordinance to piggyback the Lee County contract for a chemical that we feed in different parts of the wastewater system to keep the hydrogen sulfide locked up and it doesn't corrode or eat our pipes. We're also required by Broward County contract to have a certain level of H2S, hydrogen sulfide, going into their plant. And this helps us accomplish that.
Very good. Okay.
This locks in the contract for 5 years, the prices. So if our chemical costs increase, it's a good deal.
All right. Well, thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik.
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier.
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Item 7 is a consideration.
Consideration for choosing a director, alternate, and second alternate to attend and vote at any board of directors or general membership meeting of the Broward League of Cities where they represent the City of Pompano Beach.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. All right. Mr. Alfred, this has got your name on it.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. According to the Broward League of Cities bylaws, each city must appoint a director, alternate, or second alternate annually to attend the league meetings and represent the city in any voting matter. Last year, the commission approved to appoint Commissioner Segerson-Eaton as director, former Vice Mayor Andrea McGee as alternate, and former Commissioner Moss as second alternate. I turn the floor over to you, Mayor, for nominations.
Very good. All right. Well, so we need a director, alternate, and second alternate. Well, first off, I'll have to say, Commissioner Seegerson, I think you've done a great job as director over there. I would go ahead and nominate you if you'd like to serve again as the director.
Yes, I would very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Any further nominations for director?
I'd like to,
Commissioner Fessick.
I'd just like to say that I had a really interesting moment with, up in Tallahassee, I was able to really get involved with the Broward League of Cities and representative there, and it was very interesting. So I would like to go ahead and second that, but also make sure that I noticed that I put on notes that I'm also interested in getting to be more involved with that down the line, and look forward to working with you on that. Thank you.
Perhaps I'll nominate you as the alternate.
Thank you.
But Mr. Alfred?
Yes?
Is it true? I know all of us can attend the regular meetings of the Broward League of Cities, but I think all of us can also attend the Board of Directors. Well, I should probably ask Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton. All of us can attend. I mean, we can't actively participate.
Yes.
But we can attend the Board of Directors
Yes.
meetings if we so chose.
Yes.
And we were interested, of course,
Yes.
yeah. So
That's correct, yes.
very good. Further nominations for the director?
I just have a
Vice
question.
Mayor?
I have a question before we vote. Do you
Sure.
want that now?
Sure, yeah.
I was looking at the attendance record, and I seem to recall that if you can't attend the meeting as the primary, you're obligated to try to find one of the two alternates to attend. So it looks like that didn't happen in our case?
In September, it didn't. That was my fault. I was in Illinois. My mother had recently had a heart attack, and I was very preoccupied. So my apologies. The October meeting was canceled due to inclement weather, and then November 7th was 2 days after Election Day. And having served 6 years, I mean, my attendance record has been very good. If I can't make it, I've always reached out to the alternates. In this case, I don't even know who I would have reached out to. I should have reached out to you, Mayor, actually.
Understood. Thank you for the clarification of
You're
what
welcome.
happened for sure in the November meeting. At that time, we didn't have an alternate anymore.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Any further nominations for director? Hearing none, nominations closed for director. Do we want to go ahead and nominate open nominations for alternate at this point in time?
Yes.
Any nominations for our alternate? How about Commissioner Fessick? Would you like to serve as our alternate member?
I would love to, yes.
Very good. I'll nominate Commissioner Fessick. Are there any further nominations for alternate? Hearing none, nominations for alternate are now closed. How about the second alternate? Anyone care to serve as our second alternate for the Broward League of Cities?
I'm happy to do that.
Vice Mayor, okay. I'll nominate Vice Mayor Fournier as the second alternate. Are there any further nominations for the second alternate? Hearing none, nominations closed. In which case, we have one nomination for each office. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Unanimous. Great job. Thank you all for your agreement and willingness to serve. All right, that completes our regular agenda. Takes us up to additional audience to be heard. Mr. Alfred?
Yes, we do have remaining speakers.
Mm-hmm.
First speaker, Roderick Phillips, followed by Carlene Duncan, followed by Michelle Grooms.
Very good.
Rob Phillips, 2620 Northwest 10th Street, Pompano Beach, Florida. First, I want to commend BSO for doing a wonderful job helping to clean up the city. Even though they have people out there helping the homeless, they were pushed by the community to help the homeless get housing or get some place to go other than lay around ligging in the street. But we still have a homeless situation. And I want to thank Ms. Fournier for going out of her boners and being a Pompano Beach commissioner instead of a district commissioner, because I see you did the ride along with BSO going out on Blunt Road and helping clean up that site, and you've done a good job. You've done an excellent job, because I've been out there and I've seen the site, and it has been. Thank you for helping out the commissioner in District 4. And I want to thank you, Darlene Smith. I woke up One day I'm riding down the road and I come back to Pompano, I got speed bumps. You know, me and my friend, just bump. First we have a meeting about a $5 million project. Next day we get up, we got speed bumps. I think you did that expediently, and then we got the Mural for Johnny Jones. I don't know if you was part of that, but as far as I'm concerned, Ms. Smith, you're doing an excellent job for District 5. You know, I tell people, Miss Audrey Fisk, this ain't Burger King. You can't have it your way. You know, and everybody want to have everything their way.
Excuse me?
This isn't Burger King. You can't have it your way. I was talking to Audrey Fisk, not Beverly Perkins.
Oh, I thought he mentioned my name.
No, I wasn't talking with you. You know, man, we don't. But anyway, I just want to thank the commissioner for everything that you're doing with expedient services that for District 4. I'm with the development for the new vision for Martin Luther King Boulevard. It's no longer Hammondville Road, and change is going to come. Change is going to happen regardless whether or not people want it to happen or not. It's going to happen because it was meant to happen. Everything can't stay old. Things got to be new, you know, and everybody can have their way. I know I can't have it my way. A lot of things I want to be done in the city of Pompano, it didn't happen. Do I go home and sulk about it or get upset? No, because God got a plan, and whatever his plan is, I'm with it 100%. I want to thank everybody on this dais for all that you're doing for the city of Pompano.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Next speaker.
Good evening. Colleen Duncan, y'all know my address. I want to mention that the ladies that was there at these different places, the one that got up and say, all this changes, our taxes not gonna go up. She told a lie. And that little China man, I'm talking about him. He talking about, y'all bought all this property, y'all took a lot of these properties. So you can shake your head all you want to, because I know what you did. Now, first the black girl getting up there talking about history and all this stuff right here, she wasn't even born. Like I said, I ain't going to school to go to the chalkboard and put on the board what we want. I've been graduated 53 years. I'm not going to sit at the desk to tell what I want in the community. It need to be audience to be heard. Hear our voices. So just like I say, black history, she need to can that. She need to go learn her black history. That's all I got to say.
Very good. Next speaker.
Michelle Gromes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have conversations, take them out in the lobby. Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have conversations, take them out in the lobby. Thank you. Let's hear the. Go ahead, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, Commission. Michelle Grooms, 1589 Northwest 7th Lane. I'm also a resident in Canal Point. As you've heard, there are some situations that are going on with dogs, and sometimes we have the overgrown vegetation on the side where the canal is. I have to call about that. So it's just, I don't know how the rotations are on maintenance in our area. And one main concern that I have, because also when I talk about maintenance, I'm talking about the overgrown vegetation, talking about the lights, I'm also talking about, you know, the dogs. But we also have an issue with speeding. And my house is on a curve on the side with 95. One night, my tree in my swale was hit so hard, there was pieces of the car left. Nothing happened, I didn't have a camera, so there was no way to try to find that driver. but it's very dangerous coming out of that curve, and we have a lot of kids. So I would hate for something to happen because we can't get speed bumps. May not need to be a lot, may need to just be one on that curve. And as far as 15th Avenue, like the ladies were saying earlier, I worked for another city. And if they are causing problems for that area, I don't know if there's something that prohibits them for causing endangerment. Maybe we can go that way, because when I'm trying to get home and go through that area and I have my daughter in the car, we're playing chicken to get around the cars that are trying to turn into that business. So maybe we can do something that they're impacting the flow of traffic and causing a dangerous situation, because we can't go around them. It's 2 lanes. So I would ask that that be something that we can think about as far as that business, to address it, or at least require that they provide some kind of application so that they can get those people off the road. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Ms. Grooms, if I could, Ms. Grooms, if I could ask you to please, can you get the city manager's business card? Mr. Harrison, can you give her one of your cards, and can you follow up with his office for the speed humps and also for the maintenance issues? That'd be great. Next speaker?
Carrie Ann Williams.
Carrie Ann Williams.
Yes. Carrie Ann Williams.
Sorry. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Let me put it down a little bit. I'm Kiara Williams. I reside at 1120 Northwest 5th Avenue in Pompano Beach, Florida. A little bit about myself is I'm 23 years old, and I've been living in Pompano my whole life. I graduated from Pompano Beach High School. I know it's a lot of Tigers in here, but go Tornadoes. I'm also a college student, and I'm the caretaker of my grandfather. I'm the sole caretaker. He's 80 years old. So I say all of that to say, with so much going on, me being in school, me figuring out like my 20s, and me taking my grandfather to Kendall because he has cancer, and taking him to his chemo appointments, I'm here today to give my support for the Northwest District development, as well as being a voice to the youth. Not only am I a leader, but I'm a future leader of Pompano Beach, Florida, because I love this city so much. Living in the Northwest District, I'm super excited for the growth of my community. Initially, I raised questions like everybody would, like how is it gonna affect me and my family living in the Northwest District, and how is it gonna affect the lineage of the community? It's so much history in the community, so how can we preserve that? The Northwest District has so many, how do we preserve that? So it isn't a second thought. Well, first I had to make myself available, raising questions, because if you ask questions, yes, it's best to ask questions. I place myself with different people, getting different answers, and I'm here today because I know that the growth of the Northwest District is gonna be great. I want everyone to make themselves available, because if we don't make ourselves available, other people will, and we're gonna miss it when it's gone. Lastly, I wanna say everyone get involved, and to the youth, make yourselves available, because we need to put ourselves in a position to prosper. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That concludes audience to be heard.
Very good. Thank you for that. All right. Our next scheduled meetings, we've got April 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m. It's a special joint city and CRA meeting. That's on April 7th. April the 8th at 1 p.m. is a regular city commission meeting. April 22nd is a 6 p.m. regular city commission meeting. Then April 30th at 6 p.m. is a special joint city and CRA meeting. So those are our next meetings. Takes us up to reports. Mr. Harrison.
Yes, sir. So, speaking of your calendars, please mark down April 17th. April 17th at 1 p.m. We're going to have the purchasing and procurement workshop. April 17th at 1 p.m. We'll be sending out emails, et cetera, with regard to that particular meeting.
Okay.
And as you all are leaving here tonight, pay attention to the northwest corner of the Cultural Center property and check out the new sign.
Woo.
It really looks nice.
Cultural Center sign.
The new sign across the street at the Cultural Center, northwest corner. So don't miss it. You'll like it. You'll be proud of it. That concludes my report, sir.
Very good. Good report. Thank you, sir. City Attorney, Mr. Berman.
Thank you. No report, Mayor.
Wow, okay. Mr. Alfred, City Clerk.
Yes, two things. I wanted to also announce that there is a meeting to mark your calendar for April 16th budget workshop. Budget workshop scheduled for April 16th. Budget workshop scheduled for April 16th. I believe it's 2 o'clock.
And is that here?
It would be here in the chambers. No, sorry. It would be at the city manager staff conference room.
Large conference room.
2. Okay. Also, I wanted to just make mention of the plans to hold the first charter amendment meeting pretty soon to go over the motion, the discussion of what was brought up before the commission regarding the trying to
extended terms and also term limits.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. It was your motion. Yes, that items will be brought before the charter amendment for discussion pretty soon, and I'll be providing the dates so that way the commission is aware of that first meeting. And that concludes my report.
All right, well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, City Commission, Commissioner Fessick.
First, I just wanted to ask, because I noticed the room is a lot emptier at this time after we were all done doing everything we do on a regular basis. Mr. Berman, we follow, according to our agenda, Robert's Rules of Order, and reports in our order generally come first and not at the end of the meeting, and I was just wondering if that's, given that the attendance is so much stronger at the beginning of the meeting, is there a reason why we have done that, or is there a reason why we put reports at the end rather than at the beginning of the meeting?
We follow Robert's Rules of Order for those items that we have not specifically designated in our code. We've designated this as the order of the meeting, and that's what we've always followed. Robert's Rules fills in where there may be gaps or may be other matters that are not covered by our code and by our adopted procedure. So this is the procedure that we adopted, and it's the same procedure that has been followed in the 29 and a half years I've been here.
Okay. I know that a lot of times that we've, like I said, because attendance is so strong in the beginning of the meetings, a lot of times important things like meeting times and dates and updates are something that, before we kind of get to the regular order of business, is something. So I've been studying, like I said, in Robert's Rules of Order, it does say that that's generally at the beginning of the meeting, and in almost every other meeting format I found, that's the way it is. So I'm not sure if any other commissioners or anybody else agrees with me, but I'd like to just make a motion to align our agenda outline in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order and have reports be closer to the beginning so that we can get our messages out to the public right at the beginning of our meeting.
Is there a second?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I said I'd like to make a motion to align our agenda outline in accordance with Robert's rules and have reports be in the correct place at the beginning of the meeting rather than at the end of the meeting.
Okay, yeah, Robert Rules of Orders. Well, yeah, we can do it. I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to, I'm just trying to paraphrase it, Mr. Byrne, before I go to you. It's been moved and seconded to move the reports to the front of our meeting, and somehow align our meeting agenda with Robert's Rules of Order, which would require an ordinance change. I believe that would be the paraphrase of the motion, correct?
Right, that would be the paraphrase.
Okay, very good. It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Berman.
Just as a follow-up to your question, my experience has been that this is certainly a city business meeting to conduct the business of the city. The impetus has always been on getting the city's business done first, before it gets late, before people leave, and these ordinances, resolutions, and all the things we do first were intentionally done that way because that's the primary purpose of being here. The reports are just an opportunity to make comments and whatever else that you want to do or to give updates. But these commission meetings, first and foremost, are to conduct, transact, and move forward city business. And that's why I believe it was done in that order. At least that's my recollection. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. So we've got a motion and a second on the floor. Discussion on the motion. Commissioner Smith?
I don't think having our comments at the end of the meeting breaks any Robert's rules. I would like to keep our comments at the end for the reason that Mr. Berman mentioned is let's get our business done when the residents are here and take care of that up front in the front part of the meeting.
Very good. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. I see both sides of this one. I can see how somehow we could get sidetracked early on in a meeting, but I also do believe that the business of the city is not just the 6 or 7 things that the city management team puts before us on an agenda. It's the things that we want to come talk about, and it's the initiatives that are important to us and to the residents we represent. So we are often, especially at the 1 o'clock meetings, I add that to the motion and move them all to 6. Like there's no one here, and we give these reports, and it's to an empty room, and that's particularly frustrating when you have important things to talk about. So I'm certainly open to it. As I said, I think it could probably derail our meetings, but it's neither here nor there, because I do think the business of what we need to do is not just what's put before us. Thank you.
I would agree that the business before us is not just the agenda. It's also what the commissioners do have to say during the reports. But the mere fact that people aren't in this audience hanging on every word we say during our reports, I don't think is indicative that the people in the city of Pompano Beach don't pay attention to what we bring up during reports. There's a lot of people who watch our meetings on camera. There's a lot of folks who tell others about what goes on. And I certainly wouldn't want to delay the business of the city to have reports be at the start. I think that's, I don't think it's appropriate because oftentimes tonight is an exception. It's rare that we have 7 items on an agenda. Oftentimes we have full agendas that have lots of items, lots of discussion by the public and by the commissioners that we need to get done, and there's people who are sitting out in the audience waiting for their items to come up, be it high-priced attorneys or just regular residents who are waiting for their item to come up that want to speak on it. And I'm more than happy to wait to the end of the meeting and allow those folks who are here for the business of the meeting to get their stuff conducted first, and that's just the way I feel. But
I would, I would just be interested in the limited people who are here. We're I'm interested in what also, the people who do show up at this meeting feel like. It doesn't have to be, reports don't have to be long. They have tended to be, because I feel like a lot of times we're not necessarily, as commissioners, in control of what is on the agenda all the time. We get the agenda, right? So we do have issues. It is related to the business of the city. It is an opportunity, especially when we're able to discuss things that the audience that is here and has taken the time out of their day to show up at a meeting or to show up and take time off of a work day even during our 1 p.m. meetings, that they be treated with the same respect. And yes, it is business of the city. It is important. And I like I said, it was an idea based on the fact that it's not grandstanding, but with reports, but it is something that when we have all these important agenda meetings and updates and things like that scheduled that we're sharing as part of our reports, it's important that residents know that as well to be informed. So there's just the reason for it.
I would also just like to point out that during commission reports, we don't have public input. Commission reports is the time where the commissioners have an opportunity to talk, but the public does not. They don't have an input at this point in time. If something is decided at the commission level, if somebody wants to bring up an issue and make a motion to put it on an agenda, if it successfully is put on an agenda, that's when the public, the business of the people is then, memorialized on our agenda, and then they'll know that there's going to be a discussion about that, to be here to actually participate in it. But like I said, that's just my feeling. So further commission discussion on the motion. I got Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Yeah, I just want to say as well that tonight's quasi-judicial proceeding was very simple. Many times they're not, and you're exactly right, Mayor. It's unfair to the applicants if we're sitting here at 11:30 at night doing quasi-judicial proceeding. Ladies, we all know how much social media plays a role, and so, there's always that to put your message out. So I cannot support this. Thank you.
Very good. Further discussion on the motion? Commissioner Perkins?
Yes, I like to, give it a try. I've sat in these meetings for about 40 years now, and it's the same procedure. And just to try something different, I'd like to just see how it works. So I'd like to give it a try.
Very good. Further commission discussion? Let's call the roll on a motion.
Commissioner Fessett,
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
No. Commissioner Fessig, you have the floor.
Well, it was worth a try. Okay, so community meeting, I do want to just let everybody know that I do have a community meeting scheduled for District 1, April 9th, from 7 to 8 p.m. at Emmylou Olson, so you can put that on your calendars as well. I wanted to start off my report by saying a gigantic thank you to our Assistant City Managers, Brian Donovan and Earl Bosworth, Major Elwood, Captain Franks, and Mark Boudreau. I mentioned at our last meeting that we had obviously some tragedies, and there was a lot of concerns with pedestrian safety in District 1, specifically related to, just cars, people, and lighting, and it just being a dangerous situation. And so over a very quick period of time and a very quick turnaround, unheard of when you have to deal with so many different departments, getting everybody together on the same page, road blockages, we were able to, for both Music Under the Stars and through the holiday weekend, come up with a plan that limited vehicular traffic on Atlantic and Briney and Atlantic, right where all the activity was. I wanted to say thank you also to the businesses who were very forthcoming with their information, and the feedback from residents and businesses and attendees of all the events that weekend. It was so favorable, both on emails, social media, in person, phone calls, text messages, and every one of them they made sure to make sure that I said thank you to you and to everybody involved who did such an amazing job in getting that together, and they were very impressed and very happy with the success of that. So thank you for that. You guys made things happen. I already talked about Broward Days, so I'll skip that part. I did attend the downtown meeting last night at Charlotte-Bury. It was very well attended, and I am interested in hearing more about resident feedback related to the downtown. Since I wasn't able to be at the Emmylou Olson meeting, I would like to hear from residents who may have attended. You're welcome to email me or message me in any way, shape, or form. And then finally, I just wanted to make sure that we move forward with some technology updates. Kervin knows this is one of my little pet passion projects, and I know that in my quest for information, I have put an undue burden sometimes on the city clerk's office, and I want to thank them, all of them, for their dedication in being very patient and their hard work to go through documentation that I request or that any of us request. You do a wonderful job, and I want to thank you for that publicly. You have provided information in a very timely fashion, and I would like to bring up the concept of introducing some technology to help you potentially not have to spend hours upon hours upon hours of time trying to find that documentation. I would like to make a motion that we look into. There's Salesforce for Government is Salesforce is a universally known technological giant in terms of CRM, so we could manage multiple different streams in multiple departments. And I'd like to make a motion that we look into potentially incorporating that into the city, because it's time that the city of Pompano Beach sort of joined the 21st century, and it would be less of a burden on a lot of our departments to be able to have that information readily available rather than searching through emails and documents and things like that. So I'd like to make a motion that we look into Salesforce for Government as a potential option to bring our city into a technological jump forward.
I'll second that.
Okay. So the motion would be to direct the city manager to investigate Salesforce for Government?
Yes.
Bring back a
Yes, sir.
potential recommendation to the commission?
Well, I would like to look into, not just the city manager, but I would like to, it would be city manager to also direct the city and find out if it would work with some of our existing, so just to make sure that I'm clear, to make sure that it would work with their existing technology, which most of the time it will, they do work together as developers. So many of the common programs that we use, so they will speak to each other. It's better reporting. It'll be much easier for the city manager or for assistant city managers, for financials, for city clerk, for anybody really to have all of those contracts in one place, all of the emails in one place. They can pull reports, and it's just, I would like to look into having the city manager, the motion itself, I'd like to kind of open that up to make a motion to bring us into that next phase, however that may look.
Okay, so that's the motion, to direct the city manager to investigate Salesforce or
With Salesforce
or adopt
Salesforce for Government, investigate that, or any other potential alternatives.
Okay, not purchase anything yet.
Not purchasing, just let's start looking at moving the city forward.
Okay, so and there was a second by Commissioner?
Seconded. It was mine.
The second was yours? Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. That's the motion. All right.
Yes, thank you.
I've got Vice Mayor.
Okay. I think this is a really important topic. My interest in this is way less specific, so I might ask you to modify your motion. But we hire all kinds of consultants. We all know that now. We've hired consultants in Michigan to advise us on taking lanes out of roads and what plants to put in. But what I really think we need to be doing is thinking more about technology and moving this forward, the city forward from where we're at to where we're going and where we need to be a leader in this. And I mean, I have an example here. I know we've talked about these enterprise leased cars before, but I had more time to look into that. And I'm happy to share this with my colleagues in my report or now. But we are leasing so many vehicles that we put 200 miles a year on, 600 miles a year, 800 miles a year. Things that you wouldn't do for your family. You would never spend that much money on a lease for something you were going to put 500 miles on. You'd buy this specialized vehicle and keep it forever because that's the right financial decision. And we have over 400 vehicles. So there has got to be ways to optimize our fleet, things like that, to minimize the number of vehicles we have, given that there's so many of them we're not actually using much anyway. So I think this needs to be a much broader look at technology in our city. I'm sure in the building department, there's probably opportunities there. I mean, they've gone to E-Plan and we've done a lot, but I still get a lot of questions from residents about, I don't know how to do this, right? Like I got rejected and I see all these comments and I don't know what to do, right? But I'm sure there are like AI tools and ways to help people navigate these systems and these processes that feel like a black box to them. So I would like to make the motion that we ask, or ask you to modify your motion, that we ask the city management team to look into a range of technology tools to help move our city forward in an efficient way.
I would be happy to amend my motion to that, and to speak to your point. So again, I've mentioned my background being in business development, marketing, sales. All of that comes with the ability to communicate effectively and to have information readily provided. I'm aware of the amount of staff time it takes currently because we don't have levels of technology that speak well to one another or that there's pulling of information that's not readily available, and it has to be sorted then by a human. And in this age of AI and massive technological advances, I would really, and let's not mention our Zoom meetings that we have, our committees and all the meetings that aren't necessarily recorded on Channel 78. There's a lot of very important meetings that happen in the city, and they're being held on Zoom anyway, to simply hit the record button and then have those provided and minutes provided online in a very easy to be found format. That's part of this technology. So it's not just Salesforce, but it's I would like to start making that. That's why I will be happy to amend the motion, because I'd like to take the time. It will save us time. It will save us money. It will save us resources. Will increase the speed in which we are more effective. It will allow us to set notifications when we need to follow up. It will set up. There's all this technology at our fingertips, and we are not using it effectively as a city. And it will help. So I will amend my motion to ask city management to please look into moving us forward in a variety of ways that will all work together coherently, and find us a way that with all of this new progress, we grow with the city, and we move forward.
Before we ask for a second on that motion, Mr. Harrison, is that specific enough for you to begin your investigation, or more precisely, have IT begin the investigation?
We would certainly go forward with that, but just so you all know, we're already using Salesforce for government. I don't know where this is coming from that we're so far behind. Our IT department stays on top of all of this.
Okay.
So
where is Salesforce?
if you're using the example of the time that it took for all of the requests that were made all at once, then that's an unfair example to look at what we're able to produce. But we'd be glad to look at this holistically. I can get our IT director and our other folks together to put something together that would be very easy to understand and illustrate how we do what we do.
Very good. So is that, so from your motion, he can move forward?
Yes, but I still have more questions.
Okay, let's see if there's a second on your motion then.
There was.
Seconded.
Okay. So now go ahead.
So I have additional questions. I've been now with this as an elected official at the city, and I have specifically asked questions about technology. And this is at this point in time, March 25th at 8:29 p.m. is the first time that I have heard that we currently are using Salesforce. And I'm curious, Mr. Harrison, where are we using this? Because when I brought this up to Mr. Alfred, he was like, this is amazing, we could possibly use this. So I don't think that staff is aware that we are or all staff is aware that we are currently using Salesforce for government, and to what level. So could you please explain to me where we are using this now?
Well,
so the Salesforce for Government is a general app or software that we have and have had, and I'm not sure of the nomenclature that you used with Kerbin for him to think that we did not have it. This has got to be some sort of misunderstanding somewhere along the way. You have never asked me this question. I'm at my office, and you are welcome to call me up or email me, come in and see me. We will sit down and go over this to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what we have and what we're doing. Okay. I would be more than happy to spend that time with you.
Mr. Harrison, I have used Salesforce since 2008 in a professional manner, and as any onboarding process would happen, if we were truly using Salesforce as a city or citywide, the very first thing that would happen as you get set up is you would be also logged on with a Salesforce account. And you would have certain parameters set in place of what you would be able to view, what records you'd be able to change. Just from a city commission standpoint, looking at it as a client or customer relationship management system, there are a multitude of tools. And so while I appreciate the invitation to come and sit with you on this, I don't believe that in all fairness, I do have a technological background. I would like to, I think it would probably be best served if maybe you were at the meeting and we sat with IT, because I feel like the questions that I have you would not be able to answer for me, because it's just a specific level of technical background. I'm sorry. So for at this point, like for me, I would like to meet with IT and do that, and that would be something that I would like to see how we are currently using technology in the city, how we're currently using this Salesforce for government, because it would honestly be very beneficial just to us up here, much less everybody else in different departments. And so I would like to see how we can use it, and if we're already using it, how we're using it, and how we can potentially use it in a more effective manner across all of our departments.
So then now you want to have a meeting with IT?
Well, I will also have a meeting with IT. I mean,
Okay,
we can do both. We're still doing both, but I will definitely I will take Mr. Harrison up on his offer to sit with him and IT to find out where we're missing the boat here.
Okay, well, it's been moved and seconded to direct the city manager to give us an idea of what we're using and ways that you can update us, bring us into the more modern times, I guess, more modern than what we're doing. Is that a fair paraphrase?
It's a fair paraphrase.
Okay, so that's the motion. It's been seconded. Further discussion on the motion. Vice Mayor.
Thank you. So I guess I want something slightly different. I don't want an inventory or a report or a meeting with IT about what we're currently doing. That's the day-to-day operations of the city right now. I want a study of how we become a municipal leader in using technology to drive efficiency and transparency. And I can give an example. Willard Shepard came to me a year or two ago with this amazing product that he was working on now, and he was like, it's free. We're just looking for a city to be the pilot for this. We use it in courthouses now. The DAs use it, but literally they would set up the conference room here, the secondary conference room that is used for our board meetings, so that is used for nuisance abatement or the Education Advisory Board or the Economic Development Council, and it would literally record it. It would create an instant transcript, a searchable transcript. Imagine if you could search the transcript of all of the advisory board meetings easily on a tool, and then you click on it, and it pulls up the video of it. Like search by word the transcript, not minutes. It's just done, and it's free. He's like, it would be free basically. So, but we don't even look at these opportunities when they come to us because it's like, oh, we're good. And I don't think our systems are that good. So I actually think it should be a fun exercise for the city and for every department. Like figure out a way to reduce our fleet by 20%. Set a goal and figure it out using technology. That's what other companies do. So that is where I would go with this. Thank you.
Okay. Further discussion. Commissioner Fessig.
Yeah, I would have to agree that meetings, I'm happy to have one, but meetings are not the way to get this moved forward, because meetings are just pushing the ball down the path a little bit, but it's not necessarily accomplishing a goal. So I would have to agree that I would love to look into it, and maybe it's a workshop and maybe it's a series of them, but let's have an actual item that we can let's get a plan together so we can make something happen and move us forward. I think we are best served by moving with the times, and like everybody has said tonight, growing. We are growing as a city. We are growing, and we have to take the positive steps forward to move in that fashion. So I will be happy to withdraw my motion so that it can be more clearly worded, because I have a tendency to be very superfluous. So I will withdraw my motion, but I will support a technological workshop and move forward from there. So I would, in fact, actually, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's make a motion to have a workshop to find the solutions and then begin to learn how to implement them.
Mayor.
Well, I've got a motion on the floor to have a workshop about technology to find the solutions and then work on them.
Yeah, and we'll move it down, but we'll do it appropriately, or we can all talk about ideas.
Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of second.
Was Commissioner Eaton speaking or not?
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton, did you want to comment now?
Felt like she...
Oh, okay. No. Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Fessick, you still have the floor.
That's it. I thank you very much. That was technology, and the Zoom meetings was part of my comment with technology, so I'm all done. And I look forward to seeing everybody on April 9th from 7 to 8, District 1. If you are somebody who is technological or in technology and you want to add to the comments, my email and my information is open to you always. So thank you very much.
Very good. And Mr. Harrison, even though there was no motion here tonight, I'm sure that you're still willing to sit down with Commissioner Fessick and get over with IT and
Absolutely.
Anybody else who wants to learn about the city. I mean, it's Mr.
Sir.
Harrison is there.
There's a lot we're doing that apparently we haven't made clear.
Well, government is notoriously bad at getting the information out there, but we try.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Commissioner Perkins.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to congratulate again the Blanche Lee basketball team for their state championship. And also, don't forget, on Saturday, April 5th, is the parade for Blanche Lee basketball team. I had a question for Northwest 15th Street. We were talking about the trucks that were parked alongside the road. And Mr. City Manager, I know a while back we were talking about the traffic on Northwest 15th Street and it being a county road. Do you know, or you have any updates on whether or not we're still pursuing trying to take over Northwest 15th Street as a city road? It's presently a county road, but we've been talking about it kind of back and forward for a few years, and I just want to know, are we moving on that, or is there any?
There's not any effort being made for the city to take over the road. No, ma'am.
Okay, but we discussed it a while back, maybe a year or so ago, about, do you remember it, Mayor?
I do recall that we have made inquiries previously with the county about trying to take it over, but I don't know where it ever went.
Because of the traffic, and it's a residential area, and we have a lot of heavy traffic from the industrial businesses, warehouses, traveling through the residential area. So I would like for you to look into that again, Mr. City Manager, and see what we can find as far as trying to take over it as a city road. I remember Ms. Ellington complaining about the speeding, of course, on that road, and we put a sign there to kind of slow the traffic, which has not helped very much. But if you can look into where we are with that, as far as trying to convert it over to a city road.
Yes, ma'am.
Have we ever done that before in the city? Ever converted a county road into a city road? Has that ever been done?
Not in the 12 years I've been here.
Okay, well, let's look into that and see what happens.
Could I just interrupt you just on 15th? I just want to correct some information because I think when we were discussing this, I don't know, a few months back, and I believe Ms. Moreland was talking about it and talking about trucks.
Yes.
I did receive a communique from County Commissioner Fisher, and he said that the county had put up no truck signs. So, the no through truck signs are there, so the police can enforce that, but of course enforcement of those kind of things are notoriously difficult. But they do exist.
I've always seen the truck sign there.
So-
I don't think that's new, but
Okay.
those signs have always been there.
Sure.
I wanted to mention well, let me just talk about the parks for a moment. I remember about 5 or 6 years ago, we had an incident on Apollo Park, and of course I pushed for cameras to be on the parks. And I'm finding out that that's not so today, and we had an incident this morning. And because of that incident at the park, I would like to make a motion that we put cameras or have cameras placed in every city park in the city of Pompano Beach for safety immediately. That is a motion. That we place cameras in all of city parks in the city of Pompano Beach for safety, and if we can do that immediately.
Seconded.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to place cameras in all city parks immediate.
Yes.
Is there a definition of immediately? I'm sorry.
Well, right away, because I just assumed when we discussed this, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, and the cameras were, we purchased cameras to be placed in the parks. I just assumed they were placed in all of the parks 5, 6 years ago. And I'm just finding out this morning that that's not so. So we had another incident this morning, whereas, you know, we have BSO knocking on doors. Do you have cameras? Can we look at your cameras? Can we watch your cameras or whatever? I just think for safety reasons, we need cameras in every single park in the city of Pompano Beach, because the public is utilizing these parks, and we want people to feel safe when they go to these parks if there are cameras there. And I had no knowledge that there were just, no cameras at this particular park. So did you want to add?
Okay. Okay. Well, it's been moved and seconded, but I said, let's go ahead and take.
Yes,
Mr.
go ahead.
Samosky.
Hi, Commissioners, Gene Samosky, CIO. So every year, the City Commission or the staff puts in the budget for cameras, okay? And every year, we do put cameras in a lot of parks. We also put them in other places, but we do put them in a lot of parks. According to Mark Boudreau, we have about 56 parks in total.
Right, we do.
Or more or less. And we're getting there. To do it immediately would be pretty close to impossible by whatever your definition of immediate is. We've been doing it now for many years. I don't want to say what parks we put them in, but we have been putting them in every park. BSO is very aware which parks we put them in. We include them in our assessments of the areas that are needed. Usually are areas that may see a lot of crime. We also put them on every city new building that we make, every building that we remake. And as you know, may not know, cameras are very expensive. Also, cameras take a long time to implement. You know, like for instance, when we say we're going to put them at a certain park, right? And we have the money already in the budget to do it, you know, by the time we put in a purchase order, which is not a big deal, to the time it actually gets accomplished, it could be months for that particular project. I have a list of all the parks that we've done and all the parks we're going to do. We also have a list of all the parks we're asking to do for the fiscal 2026, okay? I could discuss that with any of you individually if you like. We are already going down that path. We're already doing it. We just can't do it all at once.
Thank you very much.
Immediately.
Thank you. So let me just say this. When it comes to our parks, I'm looking at safety and I'm looking at lives. This same park, we had a 10-year-old kid shot. Just it wasn't a year ago. We have a lot of homelessness at this park, Hunter's Manor Park. There's a lot of activity there. 59 single-family homes are being built right now next to that park. So those residents today have been ringing my phone off the hook as though, let me finish. Let me finish. Because you don't receive the calls I receive. Those residents over there in Hunter's Manor Park right now feel very unsafe because of what happened this morning, and they have not caught those 3 people. So I really don't care about the expense. We didn't care about the expense when it comes to Sand and Spurls. We didn't care about the expense when it comes to the dog park. We didn't care about any of those expenses. But I'm talking about life and death on a park. A 72-year-old man beat this morning in a park. No cameras. So there's BSO knocking on doors. Can we see your camera? Can we look at it? This park is a problem park. It always have been. So you're talking about expense? The people that they've been calling me all day, and I'm sure they're not calling you. But we find money in this city for every place that we want it. We've been telling you we live in slum and blight. Even when this new downtown is built, I will still be living in slum and blight because the new downtown is just that little project. I have 59 single-family homes coming. Those people would not want to hear a 10-year-old was shot. A man was attacked this morning. A senior citizen was attacked this morning. And you're getting there. We're on our way to put
Commissioner.
No. Listen, this is my report. Don't do that.
I'm just trying to answer you.
No, I didn't ask you to answer me. I'm not done. When I'm done, you may speak.
Yes, ma'am.
We're talking about life and death on a park. And this is the same park where I've been having my events twice a year. And I'm thinking we're safe, and we're not. I feel a little bit safer with the camera. I suggest you get cameras at that park ASAP, especially when it comes to a 10-year-old. You should have moved the cameras the same day. So it's escalating. It's escalating at that park. I don't want to hear all these excuses. Every time it comes to the Northwest, there's an excuse about we don't have the money. We can't get to it right now. We don't know where we're going to get the money from. I mean, enough is enough. I am talking about people's lives. A senior citizen at the park, just call himself exercising, just out the blue, he gets attacked. They beat him up and then take his car. Okay, so next I wanted to, I made a motion. I'm sorry. Yeah, I made a motion.
You've got a motion on the
I
floor.
got carried away. What did you have to say, Mr. Harrison?
Mr. Harrison?
I was going to say that we can get you a report. It will show the number of cameras that would be needed.
That's not, no. I am aware, and I've always known we've had 56 parks in the city. I've always known that.
Okay, well, then I guess I don't really have
I just
anything that I
think the
can tell you.
cameras need to be placed at this point immediately in the most critical places. And I hope you have cameras at Weaver Park because that's a problem.
Rather not advertise it, but.
So I know you don't want to. I know we don't want to advertise where the cameras are. I get that, but at least we could have resolved this issue by now had the cameras been in place this morning.
Yeah, it's no question.
But I'm just saying the residents are calling me. They're not calling you, Greg. They're calling me. So can you imagine how many more people are going to call me when those 59 homes are built? We're talking about high-end homes. I mean, these are nice homes they're building.
Well, everybody deserves a safe community.
Let's see how positive we can make that in District 5.
You still have a motion. Now, do you want to all parks immediately, or is there a specific? Specific?
Well, but just let her speak. Let me calm down.
Okay.
Can
I?
Okay. Well, this is your report. I mean, you.
There's a motion.
I know, but let her speak on the motion.
Right. Okay, sure. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. So this is just another example where technology might have been able to help us or might be able to help us understand where to optimize the cameras in our city to put them to have the most impact for safety. I'm guessing we're not going to implement that in time, but for sure in parks like Apollo Park and in the Northwest community where we have routinely had the chambers full with people coming out talking about gun violence and looking at us and saying, what else can you do? I had no idea that they didn't have cameras and you didn't have cameras in every one of your parks. So that's something we can do. And I do not want to hear it's hard or expensive to install a camera.
Yeah, we have,
it is
cameras at City Hall.
2025. There will be an expense, but again, I mean, I can sit here all night talking about where we waste money. So let's stop wasting money on consultants and leasing cars that we're not using and put some cameras in the parks in the Northwest. So I guess my motion or my suggestion would be to try and balance the economics of it with the most impact would be for sure to ensure that they're in the Northwest community or the communities where we have the most crime and violence issues. So to do that immediately.
Well, it depends on how they look at it. This city doesn't see where I live as a problem crime area. I know where, I only know one park I know for sure have cameras in my district, just one.
How about we get a list and then circle back?
Well, for me, I'm looking at time. It's a matter of time for me because it's just, at Apollo Park, of course, since I've been elected, we've had 3 killings on that park. And then just a month ago, we had a shooting on the park.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
Okay, wait.
you want to make a motion that we put cameras in Hunter's Park as soon as possible?
No, I like to make let me resend the other motion. I like to make a motion.
Sure.
To place cameras in all of the Northwest parks.
Can the CRA help fund this?
Vice Mayor, thank you.
Sorry.
That's like,
So,
Seconded.
so I'd like to make a motion that we immediately place cameras in the Northwest area parks for safety based on what has been happening with crime. Because God forbid if we had a shooting, we wouldn't hear that because the shot spot is gone. Really? So, that's my motion, yes.
the motion is to put cameras in all the Northwest area parks.
Parks for safety.
Immediately.
Seconded.
Immediately for safety, yes.
Okay, that's so. It's been moved and seconded to put cameras in all the Northwest parks that don't already have them.
Yes.
Immediately for safety. Okay. Discussion on the motion. We've got Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I am going to suggest that it wasn't really in jest. I mean, we pay FPI in the Northwest CRA to patrol Old Town for events and so there clearly there's some possibility for security to reduce slum and blight in the funding mechanisms or in the funding ability of a CRA. So I think we should certainly investigate that as a way for paying for it.
I'm certain that staff will.
Thank you.
Very good. Discussion on the motion. Okay, very good. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item?
Good evening.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry? Well, no, this is a substantive motion, so this public has a right to give their input. Go ahead.
Dominic Lewis, 400 Northeast 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. Good evening, everyone. This has been quite an eventful evening, and I really appreciate seeing the festive, happy spirit of the, Blanche Ely winning and the good start to the meeting. But there's, the amount of issues that we have to deal with. And again, technology, it seems to be reigniting, echoing, and it boggles my mind sitting back there in the audience with 25 years as a software engineer, working for some of the Silicon Valleys of the world, and working with some Fortune 50 companies. I'm a little bit disheartened to hear about the Salesforce. I mean, it just seems a little bit disingenuous here. Well, the city's running Salesforce.
Let's stay focused on the motion, if we could.
So
cameras for parks.
Again, just it's about provisioning, about access, right? So technology, whether it be with Salesforce or the cameras, should be a no-brainer, right? But you're talking about getting access and creating cameras. Listen, honestly, I feel like funding this out of my pocket. There's no reason why a 10-year-old should be shot and we don't have the data input to provide to authorities to go after those people to apprehend. There's this, you know, if that was my kid that shot right there, let me tell you, I would be mad as hell. So the fact that we're just nonchalantly going about the status quo is just unacceptable. And I know there's some people out here that's mad as hell right now. We got lives being lost. And, you know, I was at the park yesterday in District 3, thank God. You know, there's a camera right there, and I was thinking, you know what, that's great to have a camera there, but who's monitoring it? Is it operational, right? Same with the Salesforce. Oh yeah, you got Salesforce, who's accessing it? Why is it not provisioned for the people that need it most? So it's unacceptable, and the fact that, you know, we need to right away, immediately, understand where we are with technology. I had a conversation with Mr. Jean. I thought it was very fruitful. Unfortunately, Mr. Harrison wasn't at the meeting. I thought he was going to be at the meeting. But again, it was an opportunity where we could understand your grievances and then avoid the type of frustrations everyone's talking about tonight, including the cameras, right? And then before you put in the cameras, understand, you know, a heat map of what those cameras are, where they're looking at, who's, you know, how's it operational? You have ingress, egress. I mean, all that stuff matters, right? So you're just not going to just go in and start putting cameras. Understand the current state of what those cameras are and what is it capturing, right? We don't want to go and put in cameras the same way we were putting cameras 10 years ago, because it's not going to get you the type of information you want. So let's just, again, I appreciate the comments to stay focused, but let's stay focused on doing things smarter. We have an opportunity here. Let's do things smarter. Because we have scholars in this city. We have aspiring people in this city. Let's do it together without having to look like, you know what, we have a lot of stuff on our nose. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Jackie Mural in 1526 Northwest 7th Lane. This is one of the reasons I was in favor of Commissioner Fessick's motion to have these discussions at the beginning of the meeting, even though they're heated, but they're also passionate, and the residents and the citizens need to hear these conversations about things like this. The cameras are long overdue at the park. We're spending millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on trash cans. But we can't provide cameras for a park. That's long overdue. Not just the ones in the Northwest community, but I'm sure that's where the higher crime rates are. So we need those there immediately. You can look at BSO's record and see where the crimes have been committed the most and most recently. So this, I mean, I would think it's common sense that we have parks owned by the city, and there should be cameras there. We have cameras in city parking lots, city buildings, but not at a city park where children play, where residents are. So if we can take monies to buy trash cans, we can take monies to put cameras in our parks so that we feel safe and everyone at every park feels safe. But these are the kind of discussions that need to happen while this room is filled. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Next speaker.
Heather Gilchrist, 1341 Southeast 9th Avenue. I really see a lot of these discussions tonight having a central focus on technology, and I think that it is on scope to talk about the cost of cameras, the apportionment of cameras, the technology that underlies them so that the BSO officers can get better data on what's going on. And it sounds like we have some very willing and highly capable people. I really think that you guys should consider creating a technology commission. You've got all these, you've got the education and the EDC and the CRA. It's long past time, with all due respect, I think asking people who are not digital natives, who may not have any idea what technologies are really available, to come up with a report on what technologies are available is more than counterproductive. The discussion around that tonight was entirely counterproductive, and it's not going to end up any different if you keep doing the same things. So why not appoint a commission of those highly capable and willing people, where every commissioner gets a vote, and look into the apportionment of cameras, the cost of them, how to allocate that data, how to communicate better, how to set a calendar. That's all I have to say.
Very good. Thank you. Next speaker. On the matter of cameras in the Northwest parks.
Corey Thompson, 2160 Northwest 4th Street, Pompano Beach, Florida, 33069. We need to have RFID tag scanners as well as cameras. A person can be who knows what kind of weirdo in Pompano and come to that park and wait and wait until the kids get off the bus. We are subject to liability on this, because if something happened at one of these parks from this moment forward, they're going to say, well, what did the city commission did? Then they're going to say, oh, they did nothing. They had a 3-3 vote like usual because people got their personal feelings involved. So we're going to remember this day. So I hope that people can set aside their personal feelings and put together something where we hit this matter, nip this matter in the bud. Thank you.
Very good. Next speaker. Please come forward.
Luca Fagetti, Palmer. I heard a lot of people visiting BSO Center and being mesmerized by technology. How come this technology is not used there? I don't understand. $63 million seems to be a good chunk of money, and I don't understand how it's possible that those areas are not covered by cameras and linked to the BSO Center. So, adding from the city, okay, but where the current cameras are located, and why not in the center where you have more crime? Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please come forward. Won't be bashful.
Far from it. Vincente Thrower, Pompano. Mayor, I'm gonna be honest with you. Old boy got me hot with his comment, with his response to this body. Mayor, I'm gonna make it personal. If your mother was still here and walk in one of these parks, how would you feel? Our elderly walk these parks, and they deserve to feel safe. And I do believe that the manager wanted to chime in and identify, give him back some information, but here's the problem. The way Gene just handled that, Pat Larkins would have had some words for him in front of all you all. He handled that real bad, Mayor, and I'm not happy about it. Because he almost made me feel like
Thrower?
he said,
Mr.
no,
Thrower?
don't Mr. Thrower me because I ain't happy, Mayor.
Come on, come on.
Mayor,
We're
I'm
not gonna
focused.
attack the staff.
I'm not attacking
dais.
staff. I'm talking about what was said. I did not attack manager. Back up off me, boss. I didn't attack him. I just said I didn't like his comment. Now, if you want me to elaborate on it, I'll go a little deeper and say he need to be fired.
Okay. Well,
But
that's.
I didn't say that. I left it alone and said I'm gonna let it go.
Okay.
So you're in
Let it
favor of the
go.
cameras?
So, here's the deal, Mayor. When all these things came about these tag readers, I was sitting here that year. And I specifically went on the record and said, why can we not put cameras in all our parks? Now, I'm gonna leave this on Kerbin to try to get back to you all. Who got up and said that they were gonna do this sooner or later? How long is sooner or later? Mayor, it was our IT guy. He sat there and he waited us out and listened to some other people and put tag readers in our parks when the original request was, why can we not put cameras in our parks? We've had several years to put cameras in our parks and we have not gotten it done. Now, if it was a budget concern, we bring everything else up to this board. Why was this board not said, hey, we can do it all and here's the cost associated with it? For you all to make an educated decision like you do right now. But I tell you this much. Let it be one of our loved ones that is close to us that gets hurt at one of these parks. I wonder if you all think we're gonna let that ride. It ain't fair, Mayor. And to the manager, I don't hardly ever come up here and bother you. But tonight it was personal with how he approached it. Because Lord forbid if it had been Miss Luster. I wonder whose job I'd be asking for tonight. All I wanted was a simple apology from this board, from him, to say he answered it wrong. Because our lives do mean something when we go to these parks. And the time done changed, Mayor. It's darker now than ever. The time and the sun go down early. How do we not go to these parks? That's all I got to say.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Further input from the public? Seeing none, public input closed. Thank you. All right, further commission discussion. Commission discussion on the motion. Motion was to put cameras in the Hunters Manor Park immediately, correct? North, all Northwest Parks?
All Northwest Parks, yes, because of crime, yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then maybe we can get a report, personal, for private information on where we've already put cameras, because we have put them, but we're not going to put that information out.
No.
So I vote yes for this. Can we just call the question?
Any further discussion from the commission? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fezzik,
Absolutely, yes.
Commissioner Perkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fournier,
Yes.
Mayor Harden.
Yes. Commissioner Perkins.
All right, so that was my report. One last thing is I wanted to bring attention to a meeting that I will be hosting on Monday, March 31st, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the E. Pat Larkin Center. This meeting is for District 4 residents to basically have the opportunity to give your input and ask questions about the new downtown MLK project. We've had several meetings and presentations and forums, so this is your opportunity for those that live in District 4 to get a better insight of what's going on in the project. I've spoken with Phil Mays with Roca Point, who will be present. Nguyen Tran, I'm assuming, will be present, and Suzette Sybil as the Assistant City Manager will be present to speak with the community so that we could ask the necessary questions. We do know that change is going to happen in Pompano, and I would love for people to be as informed and educated as possible about this project. So this meeting will take place at the E. Pat Larkin Center on Monday, March 31st at 6 p.m. And if you have any questions, of course, you can call myself or staff. But I just really want the Northwest to have an input in this project and find out what's really going on. I'm aware that there were several meetings throughout the city regarding this project, which was pretty informative. But I do want to give the residents of District 4 to ask questions and perhaps give their input. Yes.
But, I mean, it's an open meeting to everybody across the city, correct?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, anybody who's interested in the downtown project.
And basically, I'm having this meeting based on the calls and the feedback that I'm getting about the project. So I think if I allow the people to come up and ask the necessary questions and get the information that they need, it'll better inform them as to what's going on. So I'm saying District 4 because the meeting is in District 4, and those are the residents that have been calling me, but it's open to the public. Everybody's welcome to come, of course, and everybody's welcome to speak, but the project is in District 4, and District 4 needs to have some say in it since we're coming in at the back end of it. But anyway, with that, I would like to know, Mr. City Manager, are we having a CRA meeting on April 15th?
Yes, ma'am.
We are. Oh, great. Okay, well, I'll hold my other thoughts for that meeting. And I think that's it for my report.
Very good.
Thank you.
Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
All righty, I'll try to be a little briefer. So I was thinking about changing my position on whether or not we should get a consultant to look at what it would cost for us to convert. So with that, if I don't have to make an motion and have an hour-long discussion on it, if that suffices for all of you, great. If it doesn't and you want me to make a motion, I'm not going to talk about it tonight. So that's that. I do want to point out and let you know that, as it were, the Oceanic is going to be, we're going to be hosting the Broward League of Cities this month, April 4th at Oceanic at noon. All right, and the other thing I wanted to talk about, actually congratulate the principal of Palmview Elementary, Robert Gibson. He was awarded the leadership award, a leadership award by the Florida Tax Watch. So it honored him. It says the Leadership Award program established in 2013 recognizes educational leaders who are creating meaningful changes in their students' lives while also promoting their uniquely effective practices, amongst their peers. Principal Gibson is among 5 elementary school principals across the state to earn the honor. In addition to receiving this prestigious award, Principal Gibson nominated a deserving student to receive an academic A+ Challenge Match Scholarship. So that happened a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was wonderful news for Palmview Elementary, one of the schools in my district. So, okay, so I'll make a motion that we look at what it would cost to convert to our own police department.
I'll second it.
Can we call the question?
Well, I think we need to have some discussion on that first.
All right. I'm just doing it because I'm kind of, I don't really think it's a viable option, but we keep hearing people asking about it and asking about it, asking about it. It's been years since we've done the study, so maybe we should just bite the bullet. I don't know, we could, spend the money on cameras, but maybe we should just bite the bullet and do the study and see where we're at. But that would be my only reason, so.
Okay, been moved and seconded to do a study to see what it would take to go back to Pompano Police. Now, that item was brought up, I believe, at the last.
It was brought up at the last meeting.
Yeah.
So we did have a lengthy discussion about it. So I think everybody pretty much knows where they stand, and I'm actually changing my position, so I don't see a need for a long, drawn-out discussion.
Well, it's okay. Appreciate that. All right, well, there's been moved and seconded to do a study on what it would take to go back to Pompano Police.
Okay.
So,
Excuse me.
yes, Commissioner Perkins.
It seemed like I remember making that motion. We were already in the process of that at the last meeting, weren't we?
No, it failed.
Failed?
Last meeting, the city manager brought back a range of costs, which he got skewered for doing it, but he did it at my request to bring back a range of prices from $150,000 to $300,000 was the guesstimate. They made some phone calls, but he had not actually done an RFP to find out what it would actually cost, and he was inquiring if this commission wanted him to go ahead and find out the actual cost, and this commission told him no.
All right. Did somebody second her?
But now the motion's been made by Commissioner Segerson Eaton.
Actually, I'm going to withdraw my motion. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so,
Okay. Well,
what was
there's still your, no, sorry, Commissioner Perkins. Motion withdrawn.
That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right. Then let's move on to Commissioner Smith.
Oh, God.
I know everybody will agree with me that the most positive thing about tonight was those studious, tall athletes that lined up here to be state champs, and for the 9th time. I thought that was phenomenal. Go Tigers.
Yay.
Yeah. In District 5, we're getting some artwork. We just completed the McNair Park mural, and the dedication, as David Miller mentioned earlier, will be April 1st at 11 o'clock. And it's beautiful if you haven't seen it, and it's huge. It stretches across the whole side of the center. In the Skolnick Center, we have another piece of art that's just been completed, and it's called One Fish, Two Fish. I want to say red fish, blue fish, but it's not. But it's 9 feet wide by 6 feet high, and it's a mural on the north side of the Skolnick Center. So those of you that live in that area, next time you're over there, take a peek around the corner. It's just beautiful. It was done by Stacia Goodman, and she's out in Minneapolis, and she's won a lot of awards for her murals on exterior walls. The 5 meetings that we had for the downtown was attended by a lot of people. The one that we had at Skolnick, I felt that the atmosphere was positive, that the people were engaged, and it just felt like community. I liked the meetings, I liked the information that we got, and the CRA and the staff that presented the series of events, you gave us a great vision and you provided facts, and I think that's what everybody was looking for. So thank you and kudos to you guys for a great series of events.
So, sir, I'm going to ask you, please. Thank you.
And I'm going to end with a positive quote. This comes from Helen Keller. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much.
Very good. All right, thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a long list, but I understand it's late too, so let's see what we get through. It's certainly the best thing was the celebrating the basketball championship. So go Tigers! That was awesome. I asked them, and 7 of the players in the team are seniors, so it might be a rebuilding year next year. We'll see. A couple of housekeeping items. My monthly community meeting, which is always the 4th Wednesday, I am canceling this month. So tomorrow it's canceled at the American Legion, in part because the city has scheduled a workshop on the skate park tomorrow night at Emma Lou Olson. So if there's anyone interested in that, there is a workshop on it tomorrow night. And the 3rd annual Kester Park Family Fun Day is scheduled for April 5th at 10 a.m. at Kester Park. If you haven't been, it's a lot of fun. So I grab the kids and come out and play some wiffle ball and get in the bounce houses. With respect to the workshops, I was going to ask about that. And I can send a follow-up email, but I guess I appreciate it being scheduled, but I'm going to suggest that we don't meet April 15th, 16th, and 17th, 3 consecutive days in a week that's also right before Easter. So the next day is Good Friday. So it is quite a busy week for some of us. So I will be sending an email to try and get the procurement workshop rescheduled because it's very important, but I think that's too much in 1 week, especially with the holiday. I want to talk more about technology, and I was actually thinking that the April 16th budget workshop might be a good place and a good opportunity for us to do that, to talk about whether we hire some kind of consultant or how we add technology goals into our expectations for the budget. Don't look so thrilled, Ranks. I do want to also thank a bunch of entities who helped out with the Blount Road cleanup that we did. And really thank you to Tundra for being on top of this, and Commissioner Perkins for you and your constituents being so consistent about how bad that area looks. But we did go out there and do some work, but it took Task Force, Broward Partnership, BSO, Environmental Services here in Pompano, BARC. I mean, there were so many entities out there. So I just want to say thank you to all of them for getting together and doing that. And if you see upticks in trash or loitering or behaviors that we don't like out there, let me know, because I think the prevention is going to be a lot easier than trying to redo that effort. I want to talk about the 6 Terrace Bridge. We talked about it at the last meeting. I've had follow-up conversations with the federal agencies, and it is just in this frustrating place between the Army Corps, Fish and Wildlife, and the Coast Guard. So is there some way we can try to get all of these entities, and I know this is not an easy ask because I've tried to do it, but get them all on the phone and have like a Zoom and come up with a plan to try and figure out how to get this thing moving again, because one of them points at another agency and then the other one points back, and then it takes a week to get a hold of that person. So there's like delays, and there's lots of people saying, oh, I'm waiting on this from this person. And I'd love to just, like, if you're trying to get something done and it wasn't government, we would get on a Zoom and we'd come up with a plan. So can we try to approach this way? Assuming that the agencies are willing to work with us on that, can we try to?
We've already done that with all the other agencies. We only have one left.
Together?
We only need one remaining, and that's the Corps of Engineers. And John was in contact with them as late as today.
Okay, so-
They are.
I had a long conversation with the Army Corps last week, less than a week ago also, and that is not what I was told. So I was told that they were waiting
Okay,
on.
will you come to my office? We will get you together with John, and we will have our own phone call with them.
Okay, sounds great, because I was told that everything from, we're waiting on something from the Coast Guard, and then we're actually going to be stuck in a fish and wildlife process, and that's about the worst place to be stuck, apparently, or so I was told. So I really need some clarity on that, because I have had, like I said, I've had conversations also, and I'm getting different messaging. So happy to set up a meeting and do that. I will be there every day if you'd like me to talk about this bridge.
Okay.
All right. And then the other thing that we've been emailing quite a bit about is road paving. And this is one of those issues that's not, I mean, I'm advocating for my district, but it is an issue everywhere in the city. So we need to come up with a plan for getting the roads paved that are on the 5-year paving plan that are not paved. And find the funding to accelerate it, or I don't. I'm going to ask you to get creative and try and figure something out, because I know that I don't think I can listen to it for the next 2 years. And I've got people from District 1, people from District 4 coming up and saying, well, I need my roads paved too. So it is a broad concern in the city. I don't know if there's some fund we can pull from and pay it back. I don't know, but I'd like a plan for trying to accelerate that. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is this revisiting of adding another seat. I have spent a lot of time thinking about this, and perhaps it is too late tonight to make a motion. And maybe the question really is, what is the process maybe for doing that? Is it just hiring a consultant who comes back to us with maps and ideas? Or what is it? Because I've been at the meetings when everything's based on numbers, right? The districts need to be essentially equivalent sizes. So, but I would think there'd be options for how to do it. And does that have to come from a consultant, from your experience?
You're asking me?
Well, I mean, you've been here longer.
Well, yeah. I mean, it can't just be, somebody who's good with an Excel spreadsheet needs to have some credentials that show that they know what they're doing for it to hold up in court.
Okay.
Once the selection is made by this body.
I do think it's worth us starting the process of looking at that, assuming that it doesn't cost a fortune, but I don't think it does. I remember seeing the payment to that consultant in the list of payments that I had, and it wasn't egregious. So I would like to make, I guess it's a motion that we hire a consultant to start looking at adding an additional district with potentially a minority seat.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to hire a consultant to look at redistricting the city. I mean, as you know, this was just discussed, and it was roundly rejected by the city commission to do this. I brought it up previously, but sure, let's.
Well, so
would you?
I told you at the time, and I meant that, and I still do, that the idea that we're not functioning well, so to say I'm going to throw in the towel because there's no majority and not find a way forward and not work on compromising didn't sit well with me. So it still doesn't sit well with me, but we are clearly not, like, it's not a rational way to be organized. So.
Very good. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to hire a consultant to give us options for redistricting of for the city commission seats. And is it also you'd like the consultant to look into adding an extra seat? Is that it? Is that the main focus?
Yes, it's to get rid of the even number.
Okay. Would you like? And I'm just asking. The motion's been made and it's been seconded, but would you like to know what it costs before we actually go down this road?
I would like, so I think the same process we use with BSO here, to have them come back and let us know what this is going to cost us, and then we can decide.
Okay. Are you looking for and I'm just asking, it's your motion. Are you looking for a a roundabout figure of what it's going to cost? Or are you looking for an RFP?
I mean, I guess in the end, I don't know that does it need to be a motion to ask for what something costs? We hired someone to do this, or at least advise us whether we needed to redistrict not that long ago. So we can, I assume, look at that and come up with some idea. Okay, so I will follow up on that, and then
Okay.
we can talk about it.
So you're withdrawing your motion?
I'm withdrawing my motion. It's late.
Go ahead.
That's all I have for today, given that we do have a CRA meeting. Okay. Well, so the other thing is I have a lot of I could talk forever about the downtown and the concerns that I have. I believe we've gone from having RMA as consultants to now hiring Roca Point as a master consultant. So instead of a master developer, we have layers of expensive consultants telling us what they think we should do over there. So now we have a master consultant and the real estate consultant and RMA consultants. And we are spending a lot of money on this. And that is the part of it that I still feel is not clear in the narrative to people. Like the master consultants, we are paying Roca Point $2.5 million a year to consult on this. We are still responsible for floating the bonds to do all the infrastructure. We are responsible for paying for the property acquisitions. We are responsible for paying for City Hall. And when I think about it, it's what is Roca Point doing besides managing all of this? And that's a pretty hefty amount of money that we're paying them to manage this. So I am concerned about the financial future of our city and doing projects like this that are outside of the scope of what we should be doing with taxpayer dollars. So I plan to talk a lot more about this over the next month, obviously, but I have serious concerns about voting on these things without a lot more clarity on the financial plan. And that's it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I would just encourage anyone who's sitting up here who lacks clarity on any issue that's coming up before us to please get with that gentleman at the end of the dais here and schedule time where you've got time, he's got time, and he can get the right people to make sure they've got time to sit down to really hash this stuff out. If there's any questions, concerns, now there will come a point where okay, you may not agree with some of the concepts, and that's okay. But if there's details, if there's dollars, cents, process questions, please get with the city manager. And I mean, we have got so many staff members on board, which I mean, it's not like they're sitting around doing nothing, but they would be happy to sit with anybody to get this information nailed down for anybody who has any need.
Mayor, I don't really feel like I need a lecture, and I don't appreciate
No,
that. It's what it feels like.
Vice Mayor, I apologize if you felt like it was a lecture to you. It certainly was not. It was to this entire commission. That's all. I'm just getting a point, trying to get the point across that look.
I can assure you, I ask my questions, I get them answered. It's about trust, not about information.
Okay, very good. I just want to two things. One, of course, Ely Tigers. Go Tigers. Great job for those guys, and great job for the kids in the school. Great job for Principal Williams. Fantastic. Also, I want to say great job to the staff. These downtown meetings have been great, well attended. A lot of information going out to the public, and thank you for getting this postcard out, of course, that alerted everybody to these meetings, because without this, I don't think we would have had the kind of turnout that we've had at all of these meetings. And it's great to get the information out there and let people know. And thank you to everybody involved in those meetings. And that's it. This meeting's adjourned.